Well, actually, I am live now.
Good morning everybody and welcome to day 2 of the Great Southern Knockout Invitational, and what a day yesterday was. Starting at 10 AM we went straight through until about midnight, and ultimately we were left with our 4 semi-finalists: Adam Lilly, Des Wilcox, Simon Singleton and David Jackson. So we've got our 2 semi-finals and then our final coming up today, kicking off at 10 AM in about 5 minutes time with Adam Lilly versus Des Wilcox. Michael Hayes, coming to you first, and thoughts on what we've got to look forward to on finals day.
Yeah, so just here with my sidekick Alex Stones, and so I think a couple of key things I'm looking out for today is going to be the starts and the breaks. It was key in all of the matches yesterday. We saw, I think in the first 3 matches, guys got off to hot starts, and while the match definitely tightened up after that, those early leads, paid off later in the match, and breaking was critical as well. Like we said in the wrap at the end of yesterday, it's a game of such fine margins, and those little things like getting that good start, getting balls off the break, I think that's going to be key. So looking forward to seeing how the guys go today. They played well yesterday, but it's a new day. It's a new day today.
And let's not forget, one of the real highlights of yesterday was the commencement of the money shot with one of our contestants winning $500. Mike, just remind us the schedule for today's money shot.
Cool, so today we've got 2 rounds of the money shot, so we have another $500 one in between the semi-finals, so that's going to be approximately somewhere around 1:30, 2 PM, something like that. And then before the grand final starts, it's going to be, I think the grand final is approximately 7. The final money shot will be around about 6 o'clock, and that's at a minimum of $1,000 and could jackpot up to $1,500 if the first one doesn't go today.
Brilliant. So don't go anywhere, but lots of fantastic action coming up over the next few hours, and I will now pass you over to our MC, Mr. Graham Watson, to bring out our 2 first semi-finalists.
Thanks, Alex and Mike. Yeah, privileged to be here on the second day. Fantastic pool yesterday. So we'll get it underway. So introducing from Canterbury, Adam Lightning Lilly. And our second semi-finalists from Taranaki, Des the Wiz Wilcox.
Thanks, Willie. Adam, coming to you first, like Mike alluded to, every match yesterday was won by the player who got out the starting blocks first, and in most cases went 3 or 4-0 up. How important for the first few frames this morning?
Yeah, starts everything. Obviously, you want to stand your authority on the match early on, try and get your opponent under some sort of pressure. Yesterday I didn't finish as well as I would have liked to, so I'm going to really focus on just being more clinical throughout the whole of the match today. Des is a great opponent, been best friends for a long time, but that means nothing on the table, he'll agree with that. But hopefully we can put on a good match and make the best man win.
Go And throughout your game of Curing Works yesterday, you seemed to adjust and utilise the black ball rules better as the match went on in terms of using the free ball and the skill shots. Are you feeling a lot more comfortable with the rules now that you've actually had an opportunity to play them in a match setting for a few hours?
Yeah, watching the other matches and picking up how different players use the rules differently. Obviously watching Simon and Bader is always good. You learn how to manipulate the rules into your favour, and they can win you a lot of frames. I think just remembering to be able to pick up the white ball is a big one on the free shot. I've got that a couple of times yesterday, so yeah, that's what it is.
And obviously being first match on yesterday, the cloth was probably playing a little bit differently to what it is this morning, now that it's had a day to be worn in.
Yeah, hopefully it's a bit more bedded in, to be able to play a few more natural shots. The sides, everything, like being able to flick side onto a ball, made a lot of mistakes yesterday, just trying to put a little bit of lazy side to throw a ball in, and it was coming off a bit thick, so I remember that for today.
And Des, coming to you, I mean, personally for me, I thought you were the most consistent of the 4 winning players yesterday. Is it a case of more of the same, or have you got to raise the bar a little bit against your opponent?
I'll just be trying to, start how I did yesterday. Just playing the table, playing the balls as they go. Knowing when to go for the finishes, when to not go for finishes. Hopefully don't miss blacks in the middle like I did yesterday. But just be trying to just do what I did yesterday and keep the consistency really. Just put frames on the board, keep added pressure on Adam, and we're going to be trying to do the same thing to each other. It's going to be a tough battle, I think.
But you guys now in a situation where you're essentially playing for a minimum of $3,000 in this match. Is that going to add its own pressure?
It does, but it doesn't. I'm just, trying not to think about that. It's about the match, about the pride, about, trying to get results. The win means so much to me, the amount of time I put into this, wife, family, practice, everything, but money's a great bonus. So, it'd be good to get through this match and then, you've got some cash in your pocket.
And you two obviously both big New Plymouth boys. Who do you think Calvin Dunlop's going to be supporting this morning?
He loves Adam more than me.
The golden boy. All right, thanks very much, guys. Best of luck. We'll let the players lag for the break, and I'll pass you over to John Saundercock in the commentary booth.
Right, thank you very much, Alex. Great words from you. Here comes the lag to determine which player will break first, and it appears that Des Wilcox has won the lag, so he will get first crack at these balls in this first semi-final of the 2020 Great Southern Knockout Tournament. This coming to you live from the Racecourse Hotel and Motor Lodge in Sockburn, Christchurch. both of these players quite impressive in patches yesterday. Adam Lilly seemed to... He came out of the block strong and then kind of struggled as Kerry Wirtz found his range, but then he had the mental game to be able to finish it off, and Des Wilcox looked strong the whole way through and managed to dispose of Matt McInnes. Now, one thing that I saw yesterday a lot of, and one thing that these players would have taken a mental note of, was how many dry breaks there were, and that their breaking just has to improve for today if they're going to... Yeah, Terry Stewart saying got some real stamina. Well, yeah, it does help to have a fairly strong voice and the ability to continue on that way throughout a pool tournament. Now, here's an interesting fact, and something that Watty's just alluded me to, is the fact that we have the winners of the respective island tournaments playing each other right now. Adam Lilly won the South Islands in 2019 in Gore, and Des Wilcox won the 2019 North Islands. I'm sorry, I can't actually remember where that was played, but I know it was somewhere in the North Island, if that makes any sense.
New Plymouth.
New Plymouth, so that was Desi's home club. Adam, of course, used to play for the same club as Des, used to be coached by the same man, Calvin Dunlop. I hope he's somewhere in the chat or watching, as he'll be proud of seeing two of his proteges doing battle in a big money tournament and going on to have successful pool careers despite both being 25 or under. One thing that impressed me with Des yesterday, just watching him play against Matt McInnes, was how quickly he took to the rules, and also how quickly he seemed to take to the speed of the table, the cloth, the weight of the balls. And one thing that you will hear, if you train your ears, is the shot clock. Now this, for now at least, has been reinstated and is working fully. It's an app that Adam Shaw has on his phone whereby you have 40 seconds to play your shot. There is a monitor in the room that counts that down, as well as the players' names and the scores. And that first beep you hear will be 10-second warning, so players from that beep have 10 seconds to play their shot, and then it will beep from 5 seconds downwards for every second. So there's your 10-second warning there. And yeah, if players get to 5 seconds before their time runs out, you will hear a beep every second. So it's similar to the one that they use in the competitions in the UK, as I say, the best of mornings to one of the big men running this tournament, and the MC of this tournament, in fact, Graham Watty Watson.
It's a pleasure to be here, John. This has been such a fantastic tournament. I'm just looking at these two guys on the table. The age between them is 43, one at 21 and one at 22. It's just fabulous to see such young players playing at such a high level. Normally the average age of the players is 43, so these guys have done so well.
I think Desi might be 25. I think Desi's 25, Graham.
No, his partner told me 22. That was a joke.
Yeah, I obviously didn't hear it. Just a quick shout out to our sponsors. We just see them wandering across the bottom of our screen. Anytime Fitness Rangiora, Aramith, Bates Joinery, Inside New Zealand Pool, Need More Firewood, On Cue, Peridon, Pool Canterbury, Rossendale Winery and Strachan, who provide the wonderful cloth used on this tournament table you see.
And just a shout out just for all the people that have contributed to this tournament. Behind the scenes, there's so much work goes in, and the crowd that came here yesterday was just testament to the support that people want these type of events.
Yeah, this thing doesn't work without you guys. It's plain and simple, really, and you've done an absolutely amazing job yourself in helping to rise this from the ground, so to speak.
Thank you, John. But the
Also-
table just looks great, and really impressed with the reds and yellows. It's very easy for people to distinguish what set of balls a player is on. For those that are perhaps not looking at games or play a lot of cue sports, it's a lot easier to distinguish what's happening on the table.
Yeah, it does make it sometimes a little bit harder to commentate on when you're wanting to know exactly which red and which yellow is being
Sure.
played. There's Desi attempting a skill shot, but not able to follow the red in, so Adam will get a free shot here.
So
Um,
Adam
sorry.
has a good chance here to take out this first frame.
One thing that I find different between the reds and the yellows and the colour balls is that people at home sometimes struggle to tell what's going on with the colours. I'm fine with them because I play with the colours as well as these, but trying to tell which ball is being played and where is easier with the colours. But with these ones, it's a kind of a just trying to give a general idea of what's happening and trying to say as well as I can which ball is being played or which
Sure.
ball is the focus.
I think with trying to promote pool in New Zealand with the live streaming, which offers a huge audience participation, it is about educating people about how skillful this game is. A lot of people equate pool with the odd game in a pub or something like that, or maybe someone has a table at home. But the sheer mental concentration and dedication that is put into top quality pool is right up there with most top level sports.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it at first glance. It's just basically wandering around a table and occasionally hitting balls into pockets. Yeah, Adam didn't get the shot on the yellow that he wanted, but the plant is still on.
Incredibly long days. I mean, we finished after midnight. It's a very, very long day. Quite often playing for 12 or 14 hours or being in the venue for 12 or 14 hours, it takes its toll. And I take my hat off to everyone that plays in these tournaments.
Lays up a safety, so that's a bit of dirt in the eye early in the morning. Didn't like the plant, so takes the next best option and puts Des into a snooker. Now, Des can pot this red over the pocket if he's good enough, but it's early in the morning and
I think
he's
this
laid
is
the
one of the advantages of a knockout tournament is there's no second chances.
That's
And
beautiful.
big prize money on offer, and these guys are playing very, very serious here.
Well, they're such good mates too. They obviously grew up playing together, grew up being coached together, still keep in touch regularly. So it'd be like old times, as Des actually said yesterday. That's how he described it, and there is an element of that, but also, I mean, it's mate versus mate. You want to kill your mate on the pool table still.
Absolutely, I liken it to the boxing where two guys are going at it hammer and tongs for 12 rounds, beating each other up, and then at the end of the fight they hug, and it's very often like that on the pool table where two people are fighting out and afterwards they're shaking hands and then having a drink together or a meal and laughing, and once they've processed the game. A lot of these people have known each other from anywhere from a couple of years to 30 or 40 years.
Yeah, and that's something that these two players will know themselves as they get older, is just how those friendships with the other pool players will stay and strengthen, and how many new pool players they will meet as juniors come up, as people get introduced to the game. Morning to everybody on chat as well. I see there John Hapimana, Mark Stanton, Terry Stewart, Aaron Wallen, Grant Loveridge and Brooke Keenan, all making comments of some sorts.
Good morning, John Happy Man, and there's another young player that's joined the stream, Jack Lemon, Gentleman Jack.
Gentleman Jack, that's what I'm drinking.
The other side of the sport is the preparation that players go through before they actually come to the table. It's not a matter of just rocking up, grabbing a cue and getting on. It's a process that each player, some is different, some are the same. So there's the first frame.
Desi Wilcox, after a battle of attrition, comes out on top, so 1-0.
Nice black to the middle. And it's interesting to be with the grey cloth. There's a lot of discussion around that, how that's going, and the longer the tournament's gone on, the cloth is playing better and better as it beds in. Initially, when players were practicing on the Thursday, there was some skidding of the balls. Welcome, Helly White.
Also to Shaden McKenzie, young player whom I've had the privilege to play with in pairs and had success with, and now started moving his game on to the highest level, and the Saundercock. There is more than one, but there is only one on the mic at the moment, Healy.
I've got to do a massive shout out to the spectators yesterday morning. We kicked off at 10 a.m. on a Friday morning, and we thought a work day, we might get 25 people here, and we had 90 people here at 10 a.m. to watch the kick-off of the Great Southern Knockout, and we were just so rapt at all the hard work that gone in that people came along to support it. And yesterday was a fabulous day. It went on, I think about 1:30, people finally left the venue. So we're very, very happy, and the spectators, it was an incredible amount of spectator participation, lots of prizes and random draws and money shots, and there was a lot of laughter and fun, and it was really great to see. And some excellent pools. Some of the pool was just top class, top draw.
Yeah,
as you would expect.
The skill shot went yesterday, didn't it? And I'm just seeing some comments about, well, Brock saying, let's hope a POM doesn't win, please. I don't care, to be honest, who wins. It's whoever plays the best on the day, whoever applies themselves the best on the day, whoever applies the rules the best on the day, which invariably seems to be the Englishmen and Englishwomen who play this game.
I've often found over the years that something new happens in a sport, not necessarily cue sports, or a new team comes along or a couple of new players, and they lift the standard of the game, and everyone has to lift their game to actually beat these players. So I only see it as a positive that players are coming in and they are dominating the game, because domination never lasts forever.
No, just ask the Australian cricket team, and before them the West Indies used to be dominant in their eras, and I mean Australia's getting back there now, but they used to be near unbeatable back in their day, and now the torch has been passed, and so it has been with Poole, and you get a lot of the younger players winning tournaments, but the older dudes still get it done on occasion. You look at Brent Wells, still winning titles. Are you sure you want to call Brent old?
Well, he's over 50, so yes.
No, I'll debate that. He's young in heart, isn't he? He's still got that infectious enthusiasm, and I was commentating with him yesterday, and he was like a little kid bouncing up and down in the chair. He absolutely loved it.
Yeah. Oh, everyone.
Yeah, that's true. Ben Stiegelmeier. One of them has to win between Simon and Baden, but I do agree with the point that Waddy made before. I think that it's great that these Englishmen and Englishwomen coming over have actually strengthened the game here, and they've introduced the games of black ball and two-shot to New Zealanders where we've needed them, and they've been instrumental in the push to get the rules accepted and played, because that's what's needed for us to compete at a world level.
I look at Ronnie O'Sullivan and snooker, and the man is probably the greatest of all time, but he's not winning every tournament, and there's some fantastic younger players coming up, or players that are certainly competitive with him, and he's lifted the game, and I do think it happens in most sports. So Des is going about the business here. He's continuing on from where he was yesterday, playing very, very steady, focused pool.
Yeah, and you say with Ronnie how he still plays at such a high level, doesn't win everything like he used to, but how much has he influenced the young players? Now, how many young players do you ask, say, I want to be the next Ronnie O'Sullivan, or that he's my favourite player, I want to copy the way he plays?
So here's Des, the black to the middle.
Oh, I wonder if the time pressure got to him. You could hear it going off in the background just as he was queuing that black, and it sped him up.
Just to let people know, the timer is functioning today for the semis and the finals. There's a shot clock and there's a 10-second warning. There is one extension per frame.
Yeah, there's a question about Glenn Coates or Freeman Pakeeto Johnson saying that he should have been in this.
Yeah,
well,
Glenn was actually invited to the tournament.
Did he not respond to the invitation?
It was Glenn's decision. So
okay.
it was a very tough decision, and I can speak as a part of the committee.
Oh, here's the money shot attempt. No, it looked like it though.
Yes, it did. So it was an invitational tournament for 8 players, and we all know that anyone that's involved in Q Sports in New Zealand, that it's very difficult to pick 8 top players. Are we saying they're the top players in New Zealand? No, we're saying they're 8 of the top players. We could have easily selected 16, and it was a very tough decision to get 8.
Oh, get in there! Oh, great effort, Des.
This
Much
is the
like
first
the shot he played
tournament,
before.
and we're looking to run quality tournaments, and we don't know everything. We're not experts, and we're certainly open to suggestions going forward.
We don't profess to be experts, do we? I mean, if we were experts, we'd be running every pool competition anywhere, and we'd be playing in it too. So this is, in some ways, the draft copy, isn't it? It's not by any means the finished product, but what a great way to start. I mean, if you were to ask for a start or an inaugural pool tournament, this sort of nature, this is the best that you could hope for. This is the ultimate as far as starts go. With the one table format as well, if we went to 16 players, we're then looking at either more days of play, which then becomes more expensive for players, as well as venue hire and all the rest of it. And it just takes longer. So we went with the one table format, and 8 players was the ideal amount of players to get that through in 2 days. It's not as easy to stream as well when you've got 2 tables running. If you go for the 2 table format, then you've got to cut between tables, you've got to have split screen. It's harder to commentate on as well when you've got lots of stuff going on at once. Now, Terry Stewart asked, so if he is queuing, can he still be time-fouled? Yes, if he has not actually hit the shot by the time that last beep goes off. What a cut attempt that is. How did that not go in? But yeah, you can still be time fouled as long as you have not actually hit the ball.
Don't worry about that. The score hasn't been updated to 2.
Yeah, Des should be on 2. No, he shouldn't. That was a fair shot from Adam from what I could see. He did hit a rail. Had Des had 2 shots then, or a free shot, then he no doubt wouldn't have tried to cut that black, and he would have played one of the reds to get a better shot on the black. Yeah, Terry, we're looking, the time clock is starting to become a new concept in New Zealand. It's very common overseas, especially in the 9 ball, but it does offer a learning curve for the players to get used to the beep. But it also offers an extension, and it keeps the game flowing, and I think as players get used to the clock shot, it will just become second nature for them as they hear that beep. It won't be off-putting. It is to start with, isn't it? You saw that with Des, but just speaking to Baden before, players actually get into a better rhythm when they know they're being timed, because they play to the time. They play knowing that they've got time on them, so they get into a routine where they queue up, they feather up the same. They're able to practice to it as well with a stopwatch of their own, or ask somebody to have a stopwatch to record their time on shots.
So here's
Adam's
Adam to
working
get
his
on
way
to
to
the
the
board.
black. It was also, just as Adam pots that, to go 1-1. It was great to have you on commentary, by the way,
2-1
Brent.
to Des. I actually don't think that score is quite correct at the moment. So Brent Wells will actually be back on commentary later on today for those that enjoyed Brother Love commentating. And he will be commentating with a very special guest commentator, Chris Harris, one of the most famous New Zealand cricketers and a Sky commentator, is coming down to do a guest spot with Brent in the second semi-final today at 2 o'clock. Looking forward to that. Chris will share some of his stories about being a professional sports player, travelling overseas, and as we're getting more and more of our players going to international events, travelling from New Zealand, one of the furthest countries to get to any event, perhaps be able to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I've got a few questions to ask him when I get a chance to speak with him, just written down on a card here. But yeah, he's still regarded as one of the best limited overs cricket players in New Zealand history, isn't
Absolutely.
he? He's still the
holds the world
benchmark
record,
by which
yep.
a lot of players are measured. In terms of, especially in terms of being all-rounders, which Harry definitely was.
So Adam's getting into his work here. Getting that first frame under the belt was always important. Building early scoreboard pressure. All the games that were won yesterday were won by those that managed to get into a lead early on.
Let's have a cut there. Now, the fact that he's actually got a piece of the black, pushed it towards the red covering the other pocket, helps. Now, that's the thing about having the ball over the pocket. It does give you the freedom or relative freedom to play cuts like that otherwise you'd be playing a safety on, or you'd be playing a different shot. We saw that especially with players like Baden yesterday, who made better use of the rules than most, about how they were able to play an attacking shot when they had balls from their opponent that were covered up or what have you. And again, it will be interesting to see how well the players have adjusted to the different rule set, because you saw yesterday with the players who lost, it felt to me like they struggled more with the rules, or they didn't apply the rules as well as they could. And these players, both of these players, I thought, ended up applying the rules fairly well. Adam was a bit slow to start with, but learned as the game progressed, and Des was pretty consistent the whole way through. That's a bit of a woolly miss.
Tried for a clearance, I think, on the red in the corner.
Oh, he tried to play a skill shot.
Yeah, Terry, as Brent said, there is one extension allowed per frame, 40 seconds. And
I think,
like we say, it is a learning curve to hear that beat, to make the decision whether you're going to use your extension. Sometimes it's disadvantage. You might use it and then have a tricky situation later on where it might have come in handy, but you've already used it up. It's a bit like the reviews in cricket.
Yeah, and I think Adam there could have called for his extension just before. I think Des did in the previous frame, which is why he couldn't use it on a later shot. Now, you see the players, if they turn their head and appear to say something to someone, that could be them saying that they're going to use their extension. Now, there is no official referee in this tournament, but there is a kind of
we do have people
referee
on call that can be called to make a decision.
Yeah, Adam Shaw and Michael Hayes tag teaming that at the moment, aren't they?
Yes.
So you turn to them and tell them
The
that you're going to use your
extension period is 40 seconds.
An extra 40 seconds.
Yes.
Trying to go for the middle bag there, I think, and I think going for the middle pocket better than trying to double it onto the red in the corner, because there's a modicum of control that you've got with that shot that it's easier to leave the ball somewhere near the pocket if you don't get it, but if you go for the double into the corner, you've got not only the fact that you could leave it on the rails, but also it makes the plant more difficult if you don't leave the ball off the rail. So I think he played that really well. Just wonder if Des is thinking about perhaps just potting that red anyway. I know that Adam will have a free shot, but would it be worth it at this
where
point?
the black is, yeah.
We're just tying them up so that Adam's then got the onus on him to do something perhaps outlandish and perhaps rush what should be a relatively simple frame from the advantage that he's got.
So we've got a crowd starting to build again on Saturday, beautiful Saturday morning in Christchurch. There are still tickets available. All tickets qualify for money draws, prize draws, or spot prizes. If you need to seat, if there's a favourite player you want to come down and watch today and you want to get a seat, I do advise to get early.
Oh, that's beautiful queuing. That was such a difficult shot. It doesn't look hard, but you're queuing length of the table and the ball's not over the pocket or right over the pocket, so you still have to hit it in the right place to pot it. Adam queued that absolutely beautifully. Now just to get onto the next red, he's under this red more than he'd like, but he can, if he wants to, play a bit of stun on it and come off the top rail perhaps. I don't think trying to cut it in slowly is going to work because the little white's just going to flock off on him. No. The second frame was quite long as well. So it did appear that he... To be fair, I didn't actually see the shot, but obviously the ball's just stacked over the hole, so whatever he tried to do didn't work. But you look at the position that he would have had, so he's obviously chosen a way that he wanted to go with it and played the shot to that effect, but was unable to pot it, so all that work that he put in getting that position wasted because he couldn't get the pot. Well, that's beautiful weight. Had that stayed over the bin, it wouldn't have been so bad, but it's gone down, so definite chance here for Des to just mop these up.
After having a couple of hits on this table, the skill level on these pockets these players are demonstrating is incredible. They have to be so accurate. Yeah,
they look quite tight if you're looking to put them in at pace. That's one thing I saw yesterday.
Do, yes.
They're more generous when you play slow. That's too soft for me. I think that black might drop behind the yellow, you know. Just needed to hit it so that the yellow at least sat on that jaw on the right.
Yeah, that's correct, Brent. We mentioned that before. This is the North Island champ versus the South Island champ.
I'm sure that black goes. Adam would do well to get quite close to this. He'd screw it straight back and be, I'd say within about, half a metre of it would be great. Oh, keep going. Oh, bad luck. Double's still on though, I reckon. I think that black will squeeze past the yellow in the middle pocket on the left.
Great cue power there from Adam.
Well, the thing with that skill shot too is that maybe he was just trying to hit the black, but he had the freedom of knowing if he potted the yellow it was fine.
Absolutely.
If you hit the black, kick that out with the power in the shot, you're more than likely to get a shot on it. Did he call for an extension? Because I'm sure I heard that last beat
I think
before.
he just got in on time.
Yeah.
So he's left a long shot for Des. Or a safety.
It's just saying to Des, look, don't think you're going to pot this. Prove me wrong. Boom!
Great pot.
Bang! Have some of that.
Yeah, beautiful shot.
He missed the black. Did he miss the black? I didn't see that. I saw him do that. Okay, we'll watch the whole thing through. I didn't see the shot on the... Oh, he feathered it too closely. He did a carry.
This is just part of the pressure that the players are under. There was several fouls yesterday that players uncharacteristically made, and it's a demonstration of the pressure of knockout pool. There is no second chances.
That's amazing. I still struggle to believe that this happens. I used to do it before when I feathered about 100 times before I played a shot, but it still amazes me that the top players do that. Now, yeah, the pressure you say, but they're so honed into their techniques at this point that they know that they wouldn't get that close to the white ball when they're feathering.
The US 9-ball open final, I know he was bridging in the middle pocket. Finger touched the ball, foul, lost a frame to go hill.
Danny Bowen, do you remember what he did?
I do.
I believe it was the Nationals, wasn't it?
I think
He
Danny could
tried
be
to
Danny
brush
could be
something.
co-commentating with you later on today, so we'll maybe leave that one.
He tried to brush the table, didn't he, next to the black, and he ended up touching the black and fouled and lost.
So Terry, is that now the name for that shot, is it?
It's a carry. For all the wonderful shots he's played, he's going to be remembered for that, is he? That's a bit rough. You still forget the shots that he played at the Nationals, right?
Incredible shots.
Yeah. 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Off the side rail to pot the ball down the short rail, and then the length of the table double after that, and then the beautiful cut on the black after that.
Hundreds of shots I've seen him play over the years.
Right, that looks a lot better. You won't see it on there for a bit.
That was a nice shot from Adam.
Hell, that is. Looks like a spam comment. Yeah, that's a bit weird, Simon. You were saying about how Glenn did get invited. Now, what he can confirm that he did.
Just we're into commentating on this match, and if you want to make comments about the match, that's fine.
Yeah, I think I might leave that one. Don't know what the hell that is.
So here's Adam. Shot to get onto the black. Tidy. So Adam also continuing on his form from yesterday. Playing very steady, very focused, very solid pull. Just a reminder that this is a race to 15 today. The quarterfinals were 13 and the final will be a race to 17. A very worthy match.
How good is it to have those long races, though?
Well, incredibly, yesterday there were several matches where one player got out to 5-0 up and people in the crowd were thinking it was going to be a walkover, and then the other player would fight back. And it's like tennis, it's like rugby, it's like most other sports. The old cliche, the game of two halves, where someone gets away to a great start and then the other player starts to get a bit of a roll on the table. Things like that,
and
dry
off the break.
breaks and off the break start going against you where they were going for you earlier on in the match. So how have you found the venue here, John, and playing in a pub environment as opposed to some of the bigger venues that we have pool tournaments in over the years?
I think this is wonderful. Just the fact that this has been purposefully built for the one table, for maximum spectator participation, is an awesome template for the future. If it's held again here, then it would be absolutely wonderful, but there's a chance for this to be used at different venues as
Absolutely.
well if others decide to put their hand up, and so be it. But this is what we've got to use for the future, isn't it? And
that was
the
one
future
of the,
looks bright.
Yeah, was one of our thinking that with the one table format, it can be transferred to anywhere in New Zealand and Australia for that matter.
Kashmir Club would be that room that Nationals was played in at the Kashmir Club would be really good for this. You put the table right in the middle of that room, put the barrier around it, and then have that purpose seating.
Sure.
Would look absolutely mint. And you remember at Riccarton and at Kashmir how they had the grandstands?
Yes, I do remember those days. I think with the pub venue, which a lot of tournaments are played in Australia and England, also adds the element where there's a lot of local people that normally drink that suddenly take an interest in a sport that they may not have had an interest in before. And we had a lot of the locals coming up asking what was going on and what were the rules and how do you enter and can I get into the tournament, and so we're just explaining to them how it worked. And Adam on a roll here.
You could play another... Oh no, sorry, I was looking at the wrong yellow. I thought he might try to play the cannon again, but why when you can just pot this one directly? He didn't get the kick that he wanted there, did he? He wanted to hit the black on the other side to be the other side of the yellow. So
Still giving himself a shot.
yeah, he's still got a shot. It's just not an easy one.
Put a little bit of work on the white.
That's going to hit the red, so if it hits the red it should go back towards the black, but you see he hasn't potted it, so it hasn't gone where I thought it would. I thought he might hit the red full ball on the right.
There's a little bit of work to do. He does have a starter.
Well, it's so important with this shot that he makes sure of it. He could play a safety if he wants, and in fact that's a good option with that ball being near the rail, is to promote it and get the safety on the same shot.
Just like some comments from people what they think of the grey cloth on the table as far from a spectator's point of view.
From a player's perspective, this is Sam Newman, who is a top young player himself. I think it's visually easier to plan clearances with reds and yellows rather than bigs and smalls. Anyone agree? I actually agree with you, Sam. Despite having more knowledge of the colours than the reds and the yellows, I actually think these balls, you take all the numbers and the stripes and whatever away, and it's easier to visualise yourself just potting a bunch of the same colour. You just see it as, okay, that's my set, that's their set, here we go, just get rid of the lot of my set, and then the black's obviously your reward at the end.
Thanks, Jamie, for that comment. Yeah, we're impressed with it, and watching it live from a few metres away. It's a pleasure to watch on this cloth.
I just wonder if this might have napped off, or Adam didn't cue it right, because yeah, he looked disgusted at something, whether he cued it incorrectly or whether the table napped or it hit a finger mark. You can see the marks that were running across the line of the ball there.
He had to hit it pretty straight. He may have just got it wrong. Just giving Des an opportunity.
Well, he's going to just bump this out and get a snooker here. You watch. Get his 2 hard balls out with his free shot and then his next shot. It's, again, great interpretation of the rules. It's something that Des,
Thanks,
as
Terry.
I said, did really well
we
before.
agree that it's a good combination.
It makes the balls pop, doesn't it? Said that before.
Like
and
I said
also with the
earlier,
lights on the table, it makes the balls stand out, and it's got that professional feel to it, as opposed to the green cloth, which looks great, but I think this differentiates this tournament from the rest.
the longer the table's been played on, the better the cloth is bedding in as well. Like I said earlier, there was a bit of skidding in some of the earlier games.
I saw that especially with shots played with side, and Adam would have been party to this, having missed a number of cuts with side in his match with Kerry, how he didn't allow for the slide or the kick that he was going to get on the small white ball. But it seems like he's adjusted quite well in this match so far.
Thank you, Sarah. That's why most of us don't dye our hair as well. I'm talking about the men here. Oh, that's great,
this
Terry.
This is possible, dude. This could be potted, you know. Don't know whether he'd really want to be fair. That's not going to hit it, though.
No, just slightly got it wrong.
Trying to put it more over the bin, I think, for next time. You pot that and you'll be snookered on black.
I'm sure, Sarah, when you come down today, your ticket will come out for the money shot.
Yeah, and you can just smash it. Just smash it, bro. That was your idea, wasn't it, with Jojo? If you ever get the ticket at a money shot, just bang it, just smash it somewhere.
Oh, the reaction to that money shot was one of the best reactions I've ever seen at a pool tournament. It was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, there were, I don't know how many people here, but it felt like thousands.
It looked like someone
Everyone got up
New
for
Zealand
it.
had won the World Cup final. So here's Des. The balls are all on.
Ball over the corner pocket here, would you? Or
Yeah, Samuel, I agree. These rules are simple. They're open. They're attacking. Hey, Tony. Good morning to you, mate.
yeah, Tony was a frequent commenter yesterday, and he.
We'll see you at the Mangere Masters for the young ones.
Yeah.
We're thinking of setting up an over 60s Masters as well as 50s.
Super Masters.
Oh,
got lucky though.
Got lucky, did.
With the snooker, and the red that he missed sits in the way for the double back down the table. Now, something that I like that Sam Newman has said, these rules seem a lot less confusing than Clubs New Zealand. Hell to the yes. I will go on record now, and I'm going to offend some people, and I don't care. I do not like the Chartered Club rules. Don't like them.
I mean,
Used to like them, don't now. And the reason why is because how many players have played them for 30 plus years and still don't know the rules? They get changed,
the opportunity here with the black ball rules is we have the World Black Ball Champs in Geelong, just outside of Melbourne, later on this year. And it's always proved very, very expensive for us to send players and teams to the UK. We're looking at $2,500 for airfares, where Australia is a much more viable option. And with these Black Ball World Champs in Geelong later on this year, is one of the reasons we're playing black ball rules, and we like the simplicity of them. Nice finish, Des.
CNZ's just overly complicated, and we are the only country that play CNZ rules. So, what have we got to gain globally from
the
playing
charter
them?
clubs have provided a fantastic venues and tournaments, and the Nationals is one of the best events I've ever played in. And they're good venues, and it's a pity that we have so many different types of rules in 8-ball, not only in New Zealand but worldwide, and it becomes problematic. There's different associations, and yet I believe that in our hearts all of us are actually there for the cue sports.
There was a comment that somebody made on Facebook about how it's confusing how we've got so many different rule sets and that it should only be one, because in other sports there's only one set of rules. I just think the game as it's evolved calls for different rule sets. I know pool can be played on more than one surface. You've got the 7-foot tables, you've got the 9-foot tables. The game has grown and developed in so many different areas and so many markets that you get different rules for the game. So pool isn't quite like those other sports in that respect. It does benefit from having different sets of rules, but I do think that we've got a few too many in New Zealand.
We don't think any one organisation is better than the other. It's just that there's different rules, and I believe that pool players in New Zealand show incredible tenacity, commitment to actually play across the different rules, and you see players that win in all sets of rules, and I take my hat off to them. If we could get a uniform set of rules, would be great. Will it happen? I'm not sure.
I don't think it will. I think that there's too much to be gained from being proficient in more than one rule set, especially if, as what we're doing now, we're looking to send players overseas to compete globally. We can't just learn one set of rules and be done with it.
We want our juniors to be able to look up to, like we mentioned, the Ronnie O'Sullivans, and we're talking about the top New Zealand pool players that are going overseas now. We want the juniors to be able to say, I want to do that one day, that's where I want to head.
There's a question there from Tony for you, in fact, Watty, how you pick the teams for the Worlds in Geelong. Now, I've got a sheet here in front of me that hopefully will help.
Yeah, there's still some work to be done on that, Tony. I'm not actually involved with the black ball selection. There's going to be some various qualifying tournaments. Again, with the Super League playing the world two-shot rules, we believe it's too late at this stage to change them to black ball rules, but there will be some selection coming from there. We have a senior over 40s team. There's a Masters over 50s team, there's an under 23s, and then there's a men's general team. So there's lots of opportunities for players to get into different categories. It's still being worked out. As I say, I'm not part of that committee, so I can't comment on exact details, but there will be lots more information coming out soon.
By not being able to snooker, you were taking a huge skill out of the game. So says Samuel Newman, as Des gets into a beautiful position on the black here. Now, he'd be well advised to ask for that rack to be removed. How many times has that rack actually been a hindrance to a shot? Or how many times yesterday did we see that rack change the path of a ball? Now, he's asked wisely for Adam, as the on-spot referee, shall we call him, to remove the rack, and that should have happened before, but thankfully it's happened now, so it shouldn't affect the shot on the black. Now, will it affect Des's mindset when he comes to the black, that he's had that little break in which to wait for Adam to remove the rack? Let's find out. No, it did not. Drains it all the same, and we're locked up.
touch the volume on this, did you?
No, not at all.
It is quite loud because we're getting quite a bit of feedback.
Yeah, I don't know how it got.
I never touched it at all.
No, I'm wondering because I don't think we had that on full volume yesterday. Just leave it though, it's fine. I've adjusted
Yeah, right, mate.
Yeah.
3-3.
I can take over for the intermission if you like.
Yeah,
Yep.
sweet. Yeah, I'll come out and do. We're doing a prize book? Yeah.
Tom Gant asking about the final. The final is a race to 17, Tom. These two semi-finals are a race to 15 each, but the final will be a race to 17. So, yeah, there you go, Sam, just answering that question as well.
I'm just
yeah,
going to
more
check
frames.
out, guys. It's been a pleasure to sit in and have a bit of a chat, and we're so appreciative of the people that are watching on the stream, that are taking interest. I think streaming has brought pool to a whole new level where you can be in the North Island, you can be in the United States, you can be in the UK, you can be anywhere and watch our top players playing. So I'm signing off for a while. I'll come back on later on. Thanks for your questions. Keep them coming. Keep your suggestions coming. Like I say, we're trying to improve this tournament all the time, and we're open to suggestions. Does it mean they'll be taken and done? Not sure, but we want feedback. Yeah, positive. What we're doing well. What we could do better. So I'm signing off, and thanks for your comments, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And Michael Hayes will be taking over in a couple of minutes, and thanks to my co-commentator John.
Thank you very much, Watty, for providing your insights.
Appreciate that. I'll do the rest of the match from here. Yeah, it's nice to have a chance to have some breaking with it.
Tom Gant, you were saying that the Canterbury singles should use these rules, so simple. I agree that I think these rules should be used in all competitions if possible. That's just me, because of what you said, the simplicity and the fact that it's great to watch on TV, it's great to watch on stream. It gives you the ability to tailor your game to them, but over and all, it's an attacking style of pole that you need to play, and that's what players need to learn, is how to play attacking positive pole while still being able to use the rules to their advantage if and when the situation arises. That's what black ball rules allows you to do. You cannot deliberately foul in these rules, Summit. You have to make an honest attempt to hit your ball. Now, if you do deliberately foul in these, you lose the frame. And Tony, you bit of a dig at Chartered Club there. I can't really comment on that too much. I don't know the inner workings as Adam attempts that fine cut and doesn't make it. I do think that they are a little inward looking. I don't think that they see the big picture very well. It's great if you want to keep the game relevant here in New Zealand, but if you are looking at expanding the game, which is what you need to do, especially for the young players, then you need to move away from the CNZ rule set. So it does kind of chain people here in New Zealand to only playing what's available here because these aren't played anywhere else. There are things that you can take from Clubs New Zealand rules and apply in black ball rules or two-shot rules, but by and large you don't have the same style of game in Clubs New Zealand rules as you do in these other two rule sets, and also it's not quite as good to watch on TV. Trying to plot that ball in the middle pocket and instead shunting it up the table. Now it's actually worked fairly well, I think, for him, although Des can now just run up behind the red and put a snooker in, so takes advantage of that, and now Adam, I reckon, has got to come off 2 rails here, remembering that he cannot just run into the red deliberately because he'll lose the frame. He'll have to make an attempt at this. There might be enough room for him to come off the rail or off 2 rails and hit the yellow here. No, he flicked the red. Well, sorry, no, he flicked the black, should I say. Thought there might have been just enough room with the small white to slink past the black and hit the yellow directly or off the back cushion, but not to be, and Des has a free shot from behind the bulk string, taking advantage of the fact that you can move the white ball behind the bulk string to take your free shot from. So the scheduled intermission will be not after this frame but after the next. It's the same as yesterday, 5 minutes and then straight back into it. Des there looking to lay another snooker on Adam and getting it right in behind the black, which cuts down Adam's options as far as the number of cushions to hit is concerned and how he plays off the cushions. And with that red just down the rail from him, it makes it hard, or extremely hard in fact, to get the necessary work on the white ball. So he was trying to just miss that red and have the side take it off the top rail as we see it and then spit back towards the yellow, but he got too close to the red and hit it, so Des again with the opportunity to move something away with his first shot, as he has done. So you'd have to definitely believe that he'll be going for the finish here. He's taken his opportunities to just move the balls to a position where he wants them using the snookers and what have you, and now with the balls primed he's ready to strike. Yeah, no, that's a good question. Actually, no, the break will be after this frame. Now, you say these rules should be the ones, John. What's your experience of these rules besides one-day commentating? To be fair, you are right, I haven't actually played them, so my experience is just on watching and commentating on them, but I have watched a bit online as well before this just to get my head around the rules. I have read a bit about the rules, I do know a little bit. I just love the way they look. Now, if I were to go into a tournament and try to use these rules in a tournament, I would probably struggle to start with because I don't have the exposure to playing them, but I still do think that they do offer as much as they could possibly offer in a rule set for people to really get in behind. Down goes the black, so Des Wilcox retakes the lead. He is 4 frames to 3 in front, and we will take a short intermission. Be back with you soon, folks.
What do you reckon? We have a prize draw? Yeah! Jojo, you feeling hungry? We're just waiting for the random generator. So we also have here for $2 a ticket is a signed set of the tournament balls. They're special balls, only $2 a ticket. They're probably half sold already, so if you want Want to buy 30, 40 bucks worth of them now, I'll be leaping out of your seat. Daryl's almost been killed in the rush. There he goes, up there Daryl, there's the first taken. Righto, so another $50 bar voucher for the awesome food or drinks here. So the first number, this could take a while because there's not like 200 people here. The first number is, where do we get these high numbers? 196. Hey, you'd be thanking me now, bro. No, you'd be thanking me now. Is that from last night? 196. Well done, Leo. Fantastic. Oh, you'd have to buy one of these tickets now for $2. Thanks, guys. Plaza will be back soon. So early on a Saturday morning, we're already up to 250 people watching on the live stream. I think that's fantastic. Maybe 160 of them are hangover from last night and haven't come back.
Oh, oh.
First thing from Just going for a quick smoke.
I'm just going for a smoke and I'll come back in and join you.
So we don't know anything about the dates or anything?
Not as yet, no.
Still working?
Righty-ho, we're just about to get back into it. Had our break. Des Wilcox currently leads Adam Lilly 4 frames to 3. Something that we did find, at least when I walked over to see Des and Chrissy during the intermission, was that the shot clock is out. That when Des was playing that black into the middle pocket, where the shot clock started beeping at him and he rushed the shot and missed it, we counted 12 to 13 seconds between when the white ball stopped and when the beeping started. When the beeping starts and goes every second, that tells you that you've only got 5 seconds to play your shot from when the first of those beeps happen. So at that stage you're already panicking. I've got to take my shot, I've got to take my shot. Des had to rush his shot, missed it. He did not get the allocated 40 seconds to play his shot, and that was proven. So it has been notified to Alex so that steps can be taken to fix it. Adam there just removing the shark rack. Now, one thing I should be doing, in fact, is just looking at my watch to time this myself. As soon as the white ball stops, that's when your 40 seconds starts. Now, it should be the job of somebody to start timing from when the white ball stops for that app to work. It can't pick up itself when the white ball is stopped. Now, if it could, it'd be perfect. You wouldn't need a person to man it, but you've got to have somebody manning the app. So what must have happened with Des is that somebody wasn't manning the app, it was still counting from the previous shot, so you had however much time it took to play the previous shot, plus the 12 to 13 seconds we counted made 35 in all, and so Des thought mistakenly, I've only got 5 seconds to play my shot, when he had more than that, but the mistake came from the person who did not set the timer. But anyway, I hope that situation can be resolved, because he was pretty fired up about it, and I'm sure that if it crops up again he'll be able to hopefully just take a breath and maybe take his extension if he's still got one. And that's a lovely snooker from Des. He's actually, I believe, touching that red, so Adam has to play away from it anyway, and it's about as tight as you can get. It's tighter than a drum, so he's got very little room in which to move, and maybe it's not quite touching because he's able to play away like that, but he's unable to hit the yellow all the same, so it will be a free shot to Des. So Des here, he can use his free shot to pot a ball and to try to get position on that hard red on the left rail. He knows that he doesn't need to pot this red. He's all good with just leaving it over a bin. Now, he's put it near the pocket to give himself something to work with, and also he's got a ball that he can use to get onto the tougher reds near the black. as well as that red that's on the bottom rail as we see it, he's got a ball to get onto it for. So he'll use it now to do that and try to bump that yellow out of the way so he has a shot on that. That doesn't even need to use the yellow, he actually had enough room to just squeeze the white ball past it. I'd say the order of the day for him now would be to get reasonably straight on this red next to the black so he can just roll it in quietly and then be nicely onto the red into the opposite corner pocket to which he's aiming. Of course there are multiple ways in which to finish, and Des deciding to go a different way here. The biggest concern to him will not be those two reds next to the black, it will be the red on the rail. I'm thinking maybe he's thinking about getting himself on that red now. He's got a bit of an issue with the yellow being there, having to cue over the top of the yellow makes the shot a wee bit more difficult, and also he's got to be that much more precise if he wants to put anything on it. He's left himself a good double though, so he didn't try to do too much. A lot of players would have seen that and not thought of the double as the next shot. They would have tried to run the white around the table and get position on that, but it's pretty simple to get on for a double, and Des has played that quite magnificently to get position on the uppermost red there. All he's got to do is just sort of run this in, or just play a little stun run shot, get fairly straight on this red down below, and he's pretty good, just as he's done there. As I welcome once again, when he gets fully set up, Michael Hayes.
Thanks, John. It's good to be back on the commentary.
Yeah, no, it's actually good to be able to hear you properly as well. Some issue that I had yesterday was unable to hear you properly, or co-commentators, and sometimes I talked over you guys without trying to and so on, and wasn't genuinely trying to. Unfortunately, that's how it is with the background noise. 5-3 to Des Wilcox.
Yeah.
How have you found this game so far?
It's good. It's a close match, which is nice to see. Actually, we've talked about a few of the matches yesterday. There was in the first three, someone got off to sort of a hot start and a big lead, and those guys tended to sort of kick on and do well. But it's good to see this match kind of sticking close from the start, and I'm sure it's going to go the distance.
There's a few questions about the shot clock here. Michael with Tyler O'Leary saying that should be just discarded if it's not working properly. Well, the app is working properly. It's just, as I said before, you need somebody to be constantly manning the app to actually reset it once the shot's completed, and then have it starting again once the white ball stops. So that's what cost Des a black in, I believe, the first frame.
Yeah, and no doubt, there's definitely a couple of technical issues with it, and that was why we canned it yesterday, was because we knew that it had to be working properly, otherwise it can't be done at all. But no, it's running smoothly now, and we're really glad it's working. It was an important part of this event, trying to do it as professional as possible, as having the proper shot clock and timekeeping, and it all seems to be working smoothly now. And yeah, no, it's really adding to the pressure in the match, which is perfect.
Yeah, the shot clock's great, I think, because the World Game is played under a shot clock, and so many tournaments are having timing in place, and we were discussing it on air before. I was with Watty about how it does set players into a playing rhythm, so when they're in their playing rhythm they play their best pool as well. You don't get that as much when you don't have somebody pushing you to play shots within a certain time. It's like you just play them whenever you can, and you just get out of rhythm and you don't play your best pool. Is that what you find?
Oh, absolutely, there's an element of that, and I'd suggest for a lot of the people that are kind of new to black ball rules and have kind of been learning it and watching a wee bit this weekend, is to check out the Taum Shootout if they haven't seen that before. That's TAOM.
it's been on, it's all on YouTube recently. Big series over in the UK. A lot of the top pros playing in that, and they have a match time limit. So they have it's either like a race to 5 or basically
20
a match
minutes,
length
I think it is.
20 minutes or some with 30 minutes. I can't quite remember the details, but basically that forces the players to play at a real pace and play really attacking. And these guys are running around the table, trying to clear frames before the match time clock runs out, and they're running racks in 30 and 40 seconds and stuff. It's brilliant. So no, all for it.
Great to watch, yeah.
A couple of teething issues this week, but I think it's all for the greater good. It's always tough to get stuff working perfectly straight away, but it's on track now, and I think it's definitely going to be good going forward to be able to, time events, professionally and add that into the mix.
Yeah, Tailem shootout. I believe if a match is, say, 30 minutes long, the first 15 minutes of that match you get 30 seconds a shot. For the last 15 minutes of the match you only get 15 seconds per shot, so it speeds up. Now you can get quite a lot of frames in 30 minutes with the strict time imposed on it.
Yeah, and I see Terry commenting that now, and yeah, it's exactly how it sort of goes down.
That's what Carl Van Beek told me about, and he actually showed me a little clip on YouTube when I went to see him in Hamner, and it looks pretty cool. Then yeah, you're going to have some issues with it here because players generally play at a slower pace and are not used to playing with the shot clock, but I think it will be of great benefit to players who are willing to put some effort into actually playing to a time clock.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm curious to see what Adam's looking for here. Those couple of reds up there, making life difficult, and the yellows are all looking pretty open. So might need a good safety here if he can find one. He might be trying to get that white up the top of the table, is he? So trying to double this red back inside the yellow, maybe.
Could be.
Oh no, the cut was on.
The cut was on. It's amazing what you don't see on the stream.
It's always tough, actually. I found that yesterday, when you're sort of watching the game beside the table, you can lean your head to the left or right to check an angle, but when we've just got the one view on the monitor for the commentary, it's a wee bit tougher. Yeah, and that's a good shot. I think that's what he was looking to do, was get up the end of the table, open those balls up, and leave theirs tight. Well played.
Yeah, you felt that there had to be a snooker involved. You pot that first red, the next one must be a snooker because there's no way you're going to try and pot one of those. He's got 4 balls to hit. He'll be looking to try and put Adam into a snooker if he can, and he's actually done really well there. He can only just see the edge of that right red of the toe. It's a Filipino shot, that, isn't it? You see Filipinos play those shots really well. And maybe John and Roberto would love this.
Yeah, that's well played too.
I wonder if that's on in the middle. I know it's quite a fine cut, but we've seen Des play a fine cut on the black and actually overcut it.
And you can, wee tricks you can do, like loading this one up with left-hand side will sort of get the white ball sort of gripping the object ball a little bit on contact and turning it, and that's probably what. It goes down
Shot.
very nice.
Again,
shot.
we've been made out to be liars. You could see more of that than we thought. And by the way, we've just cracked 300 viewers on the stream, so keep getting your friends and your family to come and watch this. This is great pool entertainment, and it's always better when more of you watch.
No, and you're right, John. We're wrapped because it's fantastic viewing numbers, for this time on a Saturday to have, several hundred people tuning in and watching. And why wouldn't you? It's a great pool, We've got 8 of the best players, playing these big races on this great table in this awesome venue. It's you'd be mad not to be watching it.
Oh, definitely, especially if you have any interest in cue sports, or if you want to learn more, then this is a great place to start. Des didn't quite get the rub that he wanted there, but thankfully for him he didn't get, I reckon, the snooker as well. No, he did go for the double. What a shot. I thought maybe the snooker could have been an option, but Desi got into that frame of mind. Look, my doubles are working, why not play one?
Now, I think he knew with the white travelling over that side of the table that it was, even if he does miss the double, it's going to be a tricky finish for Adam from there, but good to see the boys backing themselves. Nice finish.
Well, that's the pool that you want to see too, isn't it? when the opportunity presents itself is to go for those shots, to go for those doubles, to take that risk, as it were. Now, Des obviously has decided to just flip the switch on that shot, just go for it, knowing that if you play with the positive intent and don't get the pot, then Adam's still got some work to do, and even that in itself puts pressure on Adam. Yeah, your opponent's just missed the shot, you get into the frame, but yeah, look what he's trying to do. He's trying to do whatever he can to win the frame, and he's showing you that, and you've got to be feeling that point, that you've got to be that much better in your execution.
Bang on. Just appreciate that comment from Tony there. Yeah, that's, you know, we've put a lot of work into this event, and 100% is our goals was basically to do an event that is brilliant for spectators and also brilliant for the players. You know, two of the key questions we asked ourselves, you know, both as players and spectators, is what would we really want to play in, and what would we really want to watch. And yeah, this is the format we've come up with, and yeah, we're getting really good feedback. People seem to be enjoying it, so yeah, cheers guys.
It's awesome, as it's an inaugural tournament. This is the first time that this has ever been held in this way. Now, obviously you were talking about how you could improve it and so on, and room for improvement, but as a first tournament, this is pretty damn good. I mean, you guys have done so much to make this thing work so well, and it gets better. You can only just salivate at the possibilities.
Oh no, exactly, John. It's really exciting. I want to try and get back to the match for a second here. Des has got slightly out of posi first shot.
Still ghetto. I like it. Yeah, no, that is correct, Ben. The game between Simon and Baden, the second semi-final, does start at 2, 1400 hours.
Yeah, and we've got the grand final tonight is set to start at approximately 7 p.m. Although if the second semi-final does run over time, we're sort of at the moment planning on that finishing around about 5:30. If that overruns closer to 6, the final may start a wee bit later. It's just important that we give whoever comes off a win in that second semi-final enough time to kind of, you know, get away from the table and sort of, you know, have a bit of a rest, maybe a quick shower, a bite to eat, and just refresh and recharge for the final, because you know, when you're playing these matches that are 3 or 4 hours long, it'd be a tough ask to go straight off the semi into the final. So there will be a wee bit of a break and some downtime later in the day there, but we've got the final of the money shot to sort of fill that gap. And I'm not sure if anybody tuned in and seen the first round of it last night for $500, but it was it was electric. You know, the room blew up when that final ball went in, and you know, one of the punters walked away with $500, and you know, that's going to be $1,000 minimum tonight, potentially up to $1,500. So looking forward to more of that.
And let's be fair, you don't actually have to be good at pool to pop the money shot, even though it is a hard shot. You just have to be willing to get up there and give it a go, because you don't know what will happen if you just go and give the ball a good rifle.
End of this frame, I'll replay that money shot.
You reckon Adam might have an angle to screw off this red into the black and the yellow?
I'm not sure. From here, it
or
looks like it might go
side?
close to the nearer yellow. I'm not sure. Yeah.
Topped it through. Didn't like it, obviously, so don't take the risk if you don't have to. Just get on what you know you can. Make sure you whack it.
Well, that's the thing with that money shot, you know, like the table's quick, and then the harder you hit it, if it doesn't go in the pocket you're aiming for in the first attempt, it gives it every chance of going in somewhere else. And I think we saw that with all 3 attempts last night. Probably everybody looking for a double down the table, and all 3 black balls actually, you know, they missed the bottom corner and then ended up travelling back towards the top of the table, and all weren't too far away from the pocket.
It just seems to be the way to do it, doesn't it? Some players, if you had that shot in a tournament and you had to pot it, some players would try to pot it in one of the middle pockets. So I've seen that shot gain prominence over the last year or so. But yeah, the double into the corner is still the option for most players.
Miss there from Adam. He would have fancied his chances on that one with the big pocket.
Yeah, that yellow opens it up significantly, but you see how tightly it jawed. It actually didn't hit the yellow flush enough to pot it after the jaw.
Good chance for Des here to build on his lead if he can finish this one. 7-3 if he gets it, and he'll be starting to build a wee bit of a gap on Adam there. Although these guys, as we've sort of said, they're all capable of running off 3 or 4 frames in a row quite quickly, and I don't think anybody will be too phased about that sort of a gap this early in the match.
Yeah, so interesting here to see what Des will do for this yellow that's next to the black.
I'm wondering actually if it's on.
Yeah,
because I know with the smaller cue ball you can get it in sort of a lot tighter because it's less likely to hit that black. So I'm personally wondering if that yellow sort of down the rail at the end might be the last ball he plays before the black.
Lay a snooker. So you give yourself a chance to get a free shot here, don't you? This is why I was saying before about how well Des uses the rules. He was pretty quick to take to them yesterday and give himself the opportunity to get 2 shots so he can just play the black, get the black out, get the yellow out, and he's on a clearance without having to do anything rash.
So a question from Terry here, just after asking if there's much between these two historically. Not sure if you caught any of, I think it was in one of Des's interviews yesterday, he pointed out the fact that him and Adam have been, playing against each other for pretty much as long as they've been playing pool. I think they met each other at a New Zealand Snooker Academy up in the North Island, when they were, probably all of about, 12 or 13 or 14 or something like that. And yeah, they've been practicing with each other for years and years up New Plymouth way. So I'm not sure if there's too much of a rivalry there or anything, and I'm not sure if they've played each other much in recent years, but they'll be very aware of each other's games, and both class players, and tough to pick.
This would have to be a snooker, surely. That's an ugly position. But, yeah, I mean, Des slightly older than Adam. Des is 25, Adam 21. I do remember Des in either the 2007 or 2008 Levin Easter Classic when he was, I think he was only 12 or 13 years old, and Jeff Bullis did say about, you need to watch this dude because he's a player for the future, and how correct was he on this occasion? Usually with Jeff Bullis, what he says doesn't hold as much currency, but on this occasion he was dead right.
It's
a good out.
It's been unlucky, if he'd got that a fraction softer, that red would have covered that black, which would have been even better. Good
As it is, he's covered that obvious yellow though, so Des has to play a different shot to the one he'd be hoping for. He's tried to play another snooker, but I don't think he got it.
Sure. Yes, that red's probably onto the middle. I'm not sure if he can take it to the corner though.
I definitely think it's on for the middle. I know Adam, and he'll go for this. Whichever pocket it's on for. If he can take it to the corner, he would love to. I'm not sure if he can actually catch enough of it to pot it in that top corner inside the other red. The middle. Great effort, but no.
He's asking Des to play a good starter if he wants to make this one.
Yeah, that was the advantage to cutting it in the middle, I think, is because you knew the white was going up there with the need for the position. With the corner, he would have had to force it more.
Oh, absolutely. Just, I guess, one of those ones, slightly more comfortable pot, but we'll see what Des can do here.
I just wonder if he takes the yellow on the rail, on the right rail first. I can only assume he's asked for an extension there. Now, if he does take the yellow on the right rail first, then he should spit out okay for the yellow down the short rail. But if he misses it, it'll be a slightly harder shot for Adam. Oh, look at this. What a snooker.
Nice touch.
Beautiful touch, and Adam applauding the effort as we are up here.
It's nice to see that, we've spoken a lot about how these are, quite attacking rules, and, they encourage taking on your pots and all that, but,
unlucky.
Any set of rules in pool, there is still, ways to play safe and tactics, and yeah, Des is showcasing that right here.
Well, look at what he's just forced Adam into. Hit the red, but the white ball skittering off into the corner pocket.
Yeah, it's pretty unlucky for Adam, but that's it. You know, you play your good safeties and you give yourself a good chance of something like that happening.
Geez, I was going to say how good a touch player he was, but he's just clubbed that to death. Would have wanted to hit that a touch softer so the yellow was still potable in that corner pocket and not up near the black, but again, consolidation very well there to just put a snooker in and give himself maybe another chance at it.
And this is, you know, probably a wee bit of a pattern I've seen from Adam in this match, something he could maybe improve on going forward in this match. I've seen a few frames where I guess he's looking like he's trying to force the issue and clear the table, but the problem is, I think a few times he sort of hasn't made his last ball, and he's sort of run out just 6 of the 7, and when you're getting down to just that one ball left, it suddenly becomes a lot easier for your opponent to snooker you. So you do have to be careful with these sort of rules where you can snooker. If, you know, when you're getting down to those 3 or 4 balls left to go, you really need to commit to making your finish, or if you're not going to make it, you're better off sort of, you know,
laying a snooker
laying
down
something
like
in and keeping yourself with 3 or 4 options on the table to come back to. But I think that's probably just the one thing that's hurt Adam a wee bit in this match so far. He's potted those 6 or 7 balls looking good, hasn't quite finished, and it's made it a little bit easier for Des to control those frames from there.
Well, application of the rules towards the back end of the frame is something that Des has done brilliantly well in this game, and he got to doing it against Matt McInnes too. And Adam, he learnt quite well as that last game went, or his semi-final went, but I still feel that he's a fair bit behind Des yet, and how to make the rules work to his advantage the best. Yeah, you are right, Ben, in regards to John Potter's question. You can't deliberately foul or it's loss of frame.
Like, there's always a wee bit of a grey area with something like this, and you know, if you're well and truly snookered, you know, basically a blatant deliberate foul would be, you know, just you know, potting your opponent's ball that's over a pocket. If you do that's a loss of frame. You can't do that, but you know, you can be playing in the direction of the shot.
Money shot coming up.
We're just about to see the successful money shot, by the way, folks. This is John. Let's see him take it away.
What a shot there, John, and probably not picking up the noise over the stream, but from being in the room, the place just absolutely erupted when that went down, and probably the easiest $500 John has ever made.
Yeah, why work when you can just do that? Working's for chumps, he'll be thinking at that point. Seems to be the way though, isn't it? Just try to double it into that corner pocket and hope that you've hit it hard enough to go in the corner pocket at the opposite end of the table. Definitely got a lot on that and received his reward for being aggressive.
Just got to give a shout out to Paul Shivers here with us at the control desk. He's not on the commentary, but he's just wrangled up that replay of the money shot for us, and he's been behind the scenes doing a lot of work on all these replays and all the camera stuff and all the streaming. So yeah, appreciate your help, Paul.
Look at these dry breaks there in their header game. There's already been a few in this match, and I think Alex would have been asking the players about how they've prepared for the break, knowing that so many of them run dry, and yesterday we saw it so often, and today it's happening again. Des is having troubles with the middle pockets again, is he?
Yeah, we spoke about that. We spoke about that break with myself and Alex just at the start of the day, and it was such a factor yesterday, and just always at this highest level of pool, the matches so often follow the breaks. You know, if you've got two guys who are both playing well towards the top of their game, towards the top of their form, you know, they're both going to run racks, they're both going to make shots, and usually the guy who's going to come out of the match better off is going to be the guy who just gets to the table first more often. And it can be a lot of luck, you know, in a game that requires so much skill, but you know, sometimes just there is an element of luck in those breaks, and I know these guys though, they do all practice the break and work on it because they know how important it is. But yeah, we have been a wee bit surprised. There has been a lot of dry breaking influencing results so far.
Yeah, I didn't actually realise that he did Potter red on that break either, so my apologies. What we said is all true though, and I would agree with what Tony Van Wyck has just said, that Des is the favourite, or say that he just goes and off, but he's just looking the player that's not so much the hungriest, but he's looking like he's more in control of what's been happening. You see Adam there using the rules to his advantage, something that we need to see more of him doing, just tying up the reds. Something that Baden did very well yesterday, and Simon. They were the two players who used the rules the best, and part of the reason why they won their games was because of the way they used the rules, and Simon in particular against Brent Wells. Brent comparatively didn't know what he was doing, and Simon made him pay for it. Baden and Steve both good with this rule set, but Baden just a cut above with his play and explaining on commentary with me about how best to use the rules and then applying them himself when he played.
Yeah, I mean, the rules are always a part, but at the end of the day, you know, you need to be queuing well, and you know, I know Adam very well. You know, he's an attacking player, and he's a brilliant queuist, and I respect that he's going to play to his strengths, and Adam's strength is that, you know, he will out-queue and out-pot almost everybody he plays, and you know, to a certain extent, you know, if you want to beat top players, you're going to have to play your best, and I think Adam does know that, you know, to do well in this tournament, he is going to need to clear the table a lot. And don't get me wrong, there's always going to be times where you do need to play to the rules if they're not there, but to a certain extent, you know, if you fancy your chances to clear, you need to back yourself to go for it. And just unfortunately, the risk is with that sort of game style that if you're just a fraction off, you do give your opponent those chances to take control of the frame in the second half of the frame if you don't make that finish. But I think Adam, he'll stick to what he's doing largely. He'll just need to sharpen up slightly and either just finish off a couple more of those frames, or like you say, perhaps every now and then just recognise that maybe the finish is a little bit low percentage and just throw in the containing shot there.
There's some wonderful queuing in that clearance there. As you saw, his queuing is probably the best that we've seen from anyone at this tournament. I know that all of these players queue beautifully in general, but just the stance and the consistency with which Adam queues is the best for me out of all the players. And playing snooker and having snooker as his number one game for a while, that obviously influences his queuing, because you need to be so exact when you're playing snooker, and you bring that to a pool table, pool being comparatively easier to pop balls on. It's just so strong. I'm just going to quickly head off and get myself a drink, so I'll be back in a few minutes, and you have the tones of Michael Hayes for that long.
Lovely.
Try.
So, Adam on the reds here. We're just looking at that red that's tied up between those two yellow balls. That's currently the problem ball, and Adam's focus will just be on finding a way to access that ball as early as possible. He might use this one here. Yeah, he's gone for it. He's unluckily missed out. But he's still got that other red up the top corner as well, so he knows that he will be able to work his way back towards that and try and use that to promote his problem red. really enjoying all the feedback we're getting actually about these rules. You know, when we were first sort of planning this event, it was definitely something we discussed was what rule set to play, and you know, we were considering a few different things, and you know, we became aware that the Black Ball World Champs were going to be on later this year. We were quite keen to go towards Black Ball rules, but we had heard from a lot of the guys who had played them more that they spoke very highly, and a lot of these guys said that they thought a lot of the New Zealand players who, you know, a bit more used to the combos and free balls would really enjoy the Black Ball rules as opposed to the two-shot rules. You know, just with that free shot and being able to clear pockets with skill shots and things like that. And I've spoken to a lot of people at the event this weekend who, you know, they've come in and they've been watching the rules and they're not quite sure how they work at first, but everybody is very quickly picking them up and agreeing that, yeah, they're good rules, they're enjoying watching them, and once you get your head around that whole free shot thing, they're relatively simple to follow as well. So really hopefully we can, you know, build on this, and if we keep getting good feedback, you know, we can maybe do more Black Ball stuff going forwards.
Question there from Tony Van Wyck for you, Mike. You might know more about how they will pick the teams for the Worlds. Is it done from the ranking? Now, we do have a cheat sheet in front of us. Michael, take it away.
Yeah, so I do know a wee bit about this. Obviously, New Zealand pool promotions, we're not really involved with the New Zealand team at all. Basically, that is being, you know, selected through Black Ball New Zealand, who are under the NZPA banner. So that is all their work in setting that up. But obviously, you know, we saw an opportunity to kind of help each other out a wee bit. You know, we're doing these rules as well, and it's a good chance to kind of promote what they're doing and getting set up with that. And for me personally, it's going to be great to see, you know, New Zealand teams, you know, going to represent New Zealand. A 7-foot pool, I've been playing myself, you know, on the 7-foot tables in New Zealand for sort of about 16, 17 years now, and the entire time I've been playing, there has never been a representative New Zealand team on the 7-foot tables. So I personally think it's great that it's happening. But yeah, so I think this year there is a variety of things they are selecting players from. The first thing is that, yes, the winner of this tournament will be the first selection for the men's team, and that's not going to be a regular thing going forward. Obviously, you know, if you do have an invitational event, you know, it doesn't, I guess, give all of the players in New Zealand the same fair opportunity to qualify for that one spot, but because it was all kicking off anew, we saw this just as a great chance for us to kind of promote each other, and, you know, by being able to offer that to the winner of this event, you know, we're also able to, you know, use this platform to kind of, yeah, highlight that New Zealand Black Ball has been formed and that teams are going. So I know more and more people are starting to talk about that. So yeah, I've got the sheet here in front of me, sorry, just getting that clear. So basically there's going to be, I think we've got 4 or 5 teams going. So we've got a men's team with 8 players that will have a team captain, the winner of this tournament,
unlucky.
The winner of the 2020 Super League. There will be the number 1 ranked Black Ball player in New Zealand, a Dunedin qualifier, a Christchurch qualifier, an Auckland qualifier, and a wild card. So that's selected by, you know, the committee and the captain. And basically they'll be using similar selections as those for a seniors over 40s team, a masters over 50s team, an under 23s team, and the ladies team as well, I believe. So they're still confirming a lot of details, and so I'm not going to go into it too much because, like I say, that is more Black Ball New Zealand, you know, which is separate to New Zealand pool promotions. Our personal focus is more on sort of doing these one-off events, you know, that are, you know, both something that the players will really enjoy playing in and something that spectators will really enjoy coming down and watching and getting involved in, whether that's here in the crowd and getting into the prizes and the money shots, or just watching on the streams with a big audience. So yeah, heaps of exciting stuff going on at the moment. You know, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all shapes up this year.
Des has played that quite beautifully, actually. He didn't overcommit to the shot. He just wanted to land the white ball in an area for the Blacks so that he can just rifle it into the top pocket. Let's see how his queuing holds up. Yeah, beautiful. Been that way all game, and it was all that way yesterday, so Desi Wilcox takes an 8-4 lead. I like this music, eh? We've got so much that we can do with different music and sounds, and we've got our own keypad for music, sounds and so on. It's brilliant. It's a great addition to the tournament.
And a heap of fun. Adam Shaw's done a lot of the work on setting this up. I've been playing with it and helping him out with it too, and yeah, we've had a lot of time just picking music and chopping them up and getting them on the keyboard so that we can be blasting them through the PA system, and it's really adding to the atmosphere in the building, and we can be cranking some music in between frames and when players make nice shots and stuff, and yeah, it just all adds to the atmosphere in the show, and yeah, okay, there's a wee bit more for the players to contend with, but they've all really been appreciative of what we're trying to do, and they're rolling with it and enjoying it, and it doesn't seem to be affecting the standard of play too much so far.
Well, yeah, that's paramount, isn't it? Does it affect the standard of play? I'd say no. It's just a little thing that you have in between frames. It's something for the spectators to identify with, and of course without spectators and without you guys on stream, this doesn't have any real meaning. So whatever helps you guys and the people watching is something we'll definitely be looking to do. And off the break, hello, opportunity to Adam.
Oh no, he's mentioned, yeah.
Yeah, very true, Tony. Nothing to suggest that he couldn't. Got to get through, if he wins this game, he's got to get through either Simon or Baden, but the form that he's displaying so far, and just the way he's playing and the way he's feeling at the moment, you'd pick him as definitely a chance to win it, big chance to win it.
He's playing a nicely rounded game at the moment, isn't he, John? He's sort of just getting that balance right between sort of, going for his shots and making his pots and just picking those right moments where it's not quite there and just playing the right shot at the right time. If he keeps it going, he's going to be looking good. But, he's only halfway there. It's a race to 15 and, we saw Adam's first match yesterday. When he gets his tail up, he can rattle off 4 or 5 frames quicker than probably anybody here. And that's all it will take sometimes, is just making 1 or 2 good pots and 1 good clearance. Suddenly you have a couple of good breaks and some balls are flying in and everything changes.
Magic Mike, can you confirm that you can do magic tricks?
So I see what Corey's getting at here. We've had a bit of chat when we were organising this because with all the players, obviously, we've been choosing player nicknames and walkout songs and stuff to go with it. And so I'd been saying that if I was going to play in this myself, I think I would be calling myself Magic Mike, and I think I would be walking out to Pony by Genuine.
Oh, hello. That's a good song too. Would you come out riding would you come out doing the Gangnam Style type dance? Just
yeah, well,
riding an imaginary
I'm
horse?
not sure if this is an R-rated event or if I'm allowed to come out sort of grinding on my queue or whatever, but I think that's the general gist of what we'd be going for. Right, I'm going to have to tone it down. I'm going to get told off shortly. We better get back to
you were nowhere near the way what Baden was yesterday. Baden was a whole different breed of animal.
That's all right. No, we really appreciate the fact that all the players have actually, chipped in and helped out with some commentary, and there's mixed feedback from all that. But at the end of the day, there's actually, there's not too many people in the country who are super clued up on these rules yet, and the advantage of the players, who are here commentating this is that they've all been playing these rules a lot recently, and they're just all much better positioned to kind of read the game and call the shots. And I think as well, like for a lot of the viewers, when you're listening to these top players speak, I guess their words just carry a little bit more weight when you sort of know who these guys are and know their credentials. When they're calling a shot, it probably means a little bit more. So no, we really appreciate that they've supported this event and travelled here to be a part of it and compete in it, and B, that that they're all having a good time and mingling in the room and helping out with commentary and stuff like that. It's been great.
Interesting that you see with the shark rack once again how the ball's been rolling on it, and I think because it's the white and you don't really want to move the white so much, you just leave it as it is, but you hope that it doesn't influence this shot. But yeah, I mean, having Baden and Simon in particular on commentary with me yesterday, it helped me a lot to understand the game better myself, because I go into this knowing how to call shots and knowing what's going to happen, but they've got the experience on the rules. They teach me a lot. I mean, I teach them maybe so much how to sit behind a mic and speak about pool and be able to commentate on a pool match, that they teach me about the rules, and they help me become better at commentary, and I help them become better at actually doing what I'm doing right now. So we help ourselves out quite a lot by having players like that to expand our knowledge base.
Yes, actually, good question from Corey there, just for anyone else who has sort of tuned in more recently and hasn't caught the first half of the match. Probably, the one standout feature for myself is that it has been a pretty even match. Obviously, Des has got the upper hand, but I think the key difference was sort of early in the match. There's a few times where Adam was getting to the table first and looking to clear, and maybe just tried to force the issue a little bit on his last ball or two. Didn't quite make his finish, and then sort of would give Des the upper hand in the frame, because Des has got all his balls, Adam's only got 1 or 2 left, and Des could either sort of pot, or if the pots weren't there, he was able to tie Adam up quite easily because there was only 1 or 2 left. So for myself, that was probably the pattern of the first half of the match, and Des was able to capitalise off the back of Adam doing that a couple of times, but Adam actually looks like he's improved that a wee bit since, and Des is just kind of continuing doing what he's doing, so it's kind of turned into a very tightly fought match.
Yeah, there's a fair bit of attrition in this game, isn't there? As well as obviously your stroke play, which you love to see from these two guys, because at the heart of it they are stroke makers. But Des in particular has used the rules to great effect, Corey, and actually putting the squeeze on Adam when he doesn't quite make that clearance. He's been giving himself chances to have that free shot by putting Adam into snookers and using that free shot judiciously to open up his balls or make Adam's tighter when he needs to. So you don't have to pot balls to win this game. You do have to pot the black eventually, but how you get there is determined on how well you know the rules, and the frequency with which you get there is how well you apply them in a match. Des would have liked that second yellow of those two to be bumped closer to the pocket, but as it is now, Adam's still got to put a good snooker in on this, because
Does he double it? Does he
I think he has a go, yeah.
Sensible, and that right there, that just shows exactly what we've discussed. Probably earlier in the match, he might have tried to force the issue and take that on. I think he's just starting to wise up. He's recognising he's a few frames behind, and just starting to play the percentages a little bit more in those situations.
He needs to kind of grind himself back into the match here, doesn't he? Rather than try to blast himself back into the game. Obviously, if the frame is open, everything's on, and the finish is there, you take it. But if something's not quite right, you need to shelve that attacking instinct for just a little while and concentrate on making sure that you've got the finish on, rather than just going hammer and tongs and potentially handing the advantage to your opponent. And Des, at the moment, is in a mood to punish anything that Adam gives him.
Yeah, no, I still maintain. I don't think Adam should change his game too much. His strength, is potting balls and clearing tables, and like I say, it needs to be a little bit more conservative.
How did that not go in? I actually thought he cued that beautifully. It must have been a fraction of a millimetre off from actually dropping. It's that speed again, isn't it? You have to hit it at pace to get it in, and you have to stun it in. Maybe the massive amount of spin on the object ball actually bites so much into the inside of the jaw that it can't drop. It just fires between the jaws.
What I see on a lot of those shots where they miss one like that, where he is putting bottom on the cue ball, I think it's just sometimes, and especially when his cueing was a teeny bit awkward there, was that sometimes you just get a fraction left or right of centre, and with the small white being a lot lighter, when you put side on the ball, it throws a lot wider. So for me, what I see is most of the missed pots, it's often just a little bit of accidental or unintentional side, and on one like that there, if his cue tip just gets a fraction left of centre, the cue ball just throws that a little bit further to the right and just takes it slightly off the line of the pot. So I think it's a lot of top players often talk about early on in tournaments and matches is just about trying to find the centre of the cue ball, and if you can sort of get to a point where you're lining up and you're confident and comfortable that your cue tip is going through the centre of the cue ball consistently, makes for a lot more accuracy.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? You back to basics. Just make sure you're cueing through straight. Make sure you're cueing centre of the ball, and everything else should follow, because all of your structures are in place and your cue's going straight. So you just adjust where you hit the white ball accordingly. Look at this position. That is absolutely wonderful from where he was to be that precise in it. This would get him to a 9-4 lead. Julie dispatches of it to get 5 frames ahead of old mate Adam. Lots and lots of pull to be had today. We are so yeah, that was Watty on the mic emceeing. Now there is an awful lot of pull to be played here today, so again we are at the Racecourse Hotel and Motor Lodge in Sockburn, Christchurch. So if you are in Christchurch and you wish to see some great pull, $10 gets you in, gets you a free beer, house wine or soft drink, as well as some brilliant pull in an amazing atmosphere. So you'd be silly if you didn't come down. Make a day of it. Just a short intermission, folks, and we shall be back with the action.
Sweet. Good.
Stand up, move around. Otherwise you get DVT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, first thing
What's what people think about time? That's good. There was only like one comment ages ago. Only because they picked up that there was an issue with it. They're like, oh, it's not working. Yeah, I just very quickly said, no, there's an issue. It's all working fine now. It's not a big mistake. I think all the chats are all real positive.
We were over 300. It's 300. It's only going to be built to Adam, Steve, Adam's going to prevent it. And just need yeah. Just need It's in there, is it? Oh, that's
Yeah, we're still over 300. Anytime we're over 300, I'm
Shit, yeah. I mean, how many times would it have been over 300 for events in the past?
I think Darryl can pretty good in
Yeah.
I don't need to know. Thank you.
I do have to go myself.
Yeah.
Right, and welcome back. After the second intermission of this game, the score reads Des Wilcox 9, Adam Lilly 4. Camelia Cook, hello. Denise Simmons, hello. Hope that you're all enjoying the stream just as much as we're enjoying being on the stream and bringing you this action live from the Racecourse Hotel and Motor Lodge here in Sockburn, Christchurch. Adam breaking this 14th frame and getting a ball down, so giving himself immediately the best chance to clear this frame and to start erasing some of that deficit. Magic Mike Hayes will be back with me shortly. He's just taking a wee break. Loving your comments too, by the way, folks. Mike made a mention of this earlier, but the comments that we're getting on this, they're so good, and they just tell us exactly what we need to know as well, that we are doing the best job that we can, and yes, there may be room for improvement, but any criticism we are getting is constructive and we can use it, as well as being able to use the good comments to, obviously you feel good about it, but it gives you that extra pep in your step, or that little bit of extra flow in your voice, as Adam plays a beautiful plant there. So he's not going to change his game too much, it would seem. He's still going to attack. Feels that he still needs to bring the game to Des to show him that he's not going to just lie down and start playing negatively or overly tactical and let Des in that way. He's going to play this game with aggression and show Des that even though he's 5 frames down, that he's still going to be a really hard beat if he does get beaten. Adam's girlfriend Jojo and Des's fiancée Chrissy are both in the building alongside Adam's Jojo's aunt and mother. So those are at least part of the support crews for each player. Des would have had to travel all the way from New Plymouth, as well as the people in his life. Adam is a Christchurch native, and it looks like he's going to go for a double here. He's not done anything to move the black at all. He's decided, well, it's a double or nothing, and he's missed it. So this is what we were talking about before. You don't get the finish, and look where the blacks ended up. Quite easy for Des to drop in a snooker at any point here if he doesn't leave himself the shot that he wants. He's always got that option with these rules to drop the snooker in and then use the free shot to move something. So I reckon that's what he's going to do here. He's going to take that opportunity to move that red off the rail, get a snooker, and maybe get another decent go at something. Sometimes you live by the sword and you die by it, and it seems to be the way of the day for Adam. Look at this attempt at the black, he's just missed it. Get in behind it to try to kick it into the middle pocket. What an effort that was, and just a couple of centimetres away from being quite magnificent. Now with the reds more open, I reckon Des is going to attack these and attempt to finish the frame on this visit. He's just gotten into such a good rhythm though. Doesn't matter what he's doing, his rhythm has been unparalleled in this match so far. His ability to switch between attack and defence has been outstanding, and he just looks so assured at the table. He just looks all business. Like here to do a job, and no matter what job it is or what tasks I have to do to do that job, I'm your man, I'll do them. Yeah, I agree with you 100% there, Terry. I love the instant replay. It's something that we haven't really had much of on stream, but now we've got it. We can actually show you shots in more detail as Des Wilcox dispatches of all the balls in the black to get to double figures. It's a 10-4 lead. Does anyone have a link to the results so far? I can ask Watty, perhaps. I'll just yell out to him now. Watty,
yeah.
Do we have any links to the results so far?
That's a good point. Do we have links to the results so far?
That would be, it's probably Alex.
I think it's on Facebook.
Jared, asking for links to the results. Just Facebook could very well be your friend, so search Inside New Zealand Poll or NZ Poll Promotions
Great Southern Knockout.
or the Great Southern Knockout. Just search for the Great Southern Knockout. Should redirect you to one of those pages where you should be able to see the results so far. Hope that helps. And several balls vying for the position of first to be pocketed, but none of them taking it up, so we have a dry break here from Des, and this is just what the doctor ordered for Adam. Needing to get himself back into this match quick, smart, being 10-4 down. But how much will his mind be going back to the fact that he's had chances to clear chances to clear, not got them, and then Des has just put him in jail after that. It is something that he'll be thinking about as he goes for his next clearance, and that's the way he plays. He plays to pot balls, let's make no bones about this, but sometimes that's been his downfall when he's not had that 100% finish. It's just been lacking in that he has then allowed Des to just use the rules to shut him down. So I see the viewers ramping back up towards 300. So good on you guys for supporting this stream. It really means a lot to all of us. We do appreciate the support that we are getting in the chat and just with you guys watching and showing your interest in the sport, interest in the players. Really makes for a great event. There's Samara Meads. She's done an awful lot for not just the City Club 2000 in Palmerston North, but she's also done a lot for pool in general, so a big thank you to her. And she's been updating her City Club 2000 page with results, so she's been doing a great service for Q Sports in New Zealand. Her man unfortunately unable to progress yesterday, that being Brent Wells, or at least the person she's supporting, but he will be in attendance, and hopefully I will get to have a commentary stint with him later on. Yeah, Theo Mullen as well, just posting the results on this chat, so thank you, Theo. So Des missing a ball there. That's something that's been quite alien for us sitting here, is almost every time Des has been on a finish or attempting to finish, he's just gone through and potted everything, no sweat. This time he's missed one, so Adam's got a chance to hit back. And they're just getting out of position first ball again, and maybe it's been something that he's been doing just towards the end, is getting slightly out of position on his last ball and still trying to force it rather than taking a different option. Yeah, you can see him again just trying to make things happen where maybe a different shot would be on and making a mess of it. And look at Des now at the table with 3 balls in the black to go. It's just got to be frustrating to be sat in your seat knowing that you should be at the table, but at the moment that's Adam's reality, and Des doesn't look like he's actually going for... No, he was going for it, okay. I thought he was just going to try to block Adam on those 4 yellows at this half of the table, but that was on, and again I've been made to look blind.
Yeah.
So Michael is coming back into the commentary booth just now. He will also be in charge of the music. He may in fact have to play a track very soon here. And that from where he was is an excellent shot to get onto the black. There's quite a lot of traffic if he'd gone any other way, but he's avoided it all and left himself about the best shot that he could, so this would be to go 11-4 ahead. And gets rid of it the way only he can at the moment. 11-4 Des Wilcox over Adam Lilly. I'm on fight back. So 16th frame, Adam to break, trailing 11-4. This is a race to 15, folks, not a race to 13 as we had yesterday. Michael Hayes, welcome back.
Thanks, John. Good to be back.
Good to again be able to hear you clearly. I know I've been banging on about this quite a lot, so just tell me to shut up if you hate it.
Oh, no, we're all good, Like I say, yeah, we had a lot of background noise to contend with for a while yesterday evening, but no, all nice and smooth at the moment.
I just wonder if we're going to start seeing it or hearing it ramp up again as we starts filling this place with spectators as the day wears on.
I mean, it's been steadily building as well. I mean, like, literally just been at the commentary desk with you for the last wee while, and just got up for a wee breather then, and there's suddenly a lot more people in the room than when I first started commentating, and I think it's what you expect for a Saturday. You know, we've seen there's a lot of people watching on the stream this morning, and I said to the guys myself, I love my Saturday morning sleep-ins, and if I wasn't down here running this, I'd be at home in bed watching on the stream for the first wee while, and then probably cruise down for some lunch and make an afternoon and night of it. So yeah, I'm sure it's just going to keep building and building as the day progresses.
Yeah, no, but you're fully committed to this, aren't you?
Oh no, 100%. You know, these last couple of weeks especially. I mean, I've been working on it for a long time, but yeah, lots of last-minute details, lots of planning. I mean, we really want to make sure that we hit this one out the park. Really, you know, if we do as good a job as possible now, it just makes it that much easier to do. You know, more events in the future and hopefully make them bigger and better.
Well, that's what it is, isn't it? You're like the pig in the bacon and eggs. The chicken's only involved, but the pig is committed.
I've never heard that one before, John. I like it.
I don't need it sometimes.
Oh, stick with me. You'll hear a lot that you like.
Good chance for Des here to extend this lead.
Just so silky, isn't it?
He's been
it's
playing
just so
really
good
well this morning. Really well.
We were just waiting for Adam to start fighting back, but for whatever reason it's just not happening at the moment. Des has just been able to roll over him. Doesn't need to do anything with this really, just pot at pocket weight, bounce out for the black, that's perfect.
So often it is, it's just getting those first looks at the table, you know, if you can get in first, it's such an advantage.
So down goes the black for the 12th time off Des Wilcox's cue. And that is his lead at the moment, 12-4. So here we are, 12:24 on a Saturday afternoon here, Saturday the 7th of March 2020. Hopefully we will see something massive like this again next year.
I think it was just that one track.
This has been absolutely magnificent so far, and it's actually great to have Mike here with me on commentary, one of the big organisers of this event, to talk us through what's gone into actually preparing for this. Now, it looks like it just pops up magically, but it doesn't. There's just so much that happens that you don't see, and Mike's been central to so much of it, and Adam's actually given up potentially playing in this tournament to be helping to run it. And Michael Hayes, of course, is an excellent player in his own right, and he could very well have been playing this in someone's stead, but he's decided that his niche at the moment is to help run tournaments and to make them as good as possible as for players and spectators, and dare I say, he's done a magnificent job of this.
Thank you, John. We're really stoked with how it's going so far this weekend. It's been awesome, and like you say, a lot of planning and effort go into it, but it's all worthwhile when you see it coming together and going well like this.
Yeah, well, it's a labour of love, isn't it?
Oh, exactly, man, and that's it. You know, we're all big pool fans. We all love the game, and we all feel like something like this is something that's been missing from, you know, the New Zealand pool calendar for a long time. And it's not a dig at anything else. You know, there's heaps of great pool going on, but yeah, I think everyone's been crying out for something that you know, that's literally just the top players playing these big matches, high stakes. You know, like good environment, and the feedback's been awesome.
Also, thank you very much to Stephen Gupwell for streaming the broadcast for the players at the Hamilton Cosmopolitan Club. Shout out to you guys. Thank you for all watching. Always great when you see clubs en masse watching events like this, because it just reaches it out to so many more people. Never been to the Hamilton Cosy Club before. I would love to go if I'm ever in the area.
It's just been the beauty of, the streaming kind of coming into its own the last few years in New Zealand Q Sports, and that's all sorts of events all over the place, but it's just great for people around the country to be watching all the other events and players around the country. It just connects everybody that much more. It's been a great development. I know myself, and I've been playing, I've got a lot of friends and family over the years who've been well aware I've played pool but never really come down and checked much out, but suddenly, since a lot of the events have been streamed, I've had so many of these people. I'll be getting messages from them during the day when I'm playing, saying, "Oh, we're watching you on the stream. This is really cool." So it's been a wicked development for pool in New Zealand.
Yeah, it offers you more.
Nice shot from Des there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It offers you more. Yeah, he's going to get the rack removed, but it offers that much more connectedness with the players instead of just hearing about them through Facebook or asking those in the room for the results or not knowing what's happening. They're actually able to watch them live if they can't get to the venue. So brilliant, really. That's just what the sport needs here for the exposure, and it's a massive thank you to OnQ Streaming for providing the opportunity. How did that not go in?
Wow.
Get the goalkeeper out.
Chance for Adam here. He really needs this one. It's definitely not straightforward by any means, but they are there.
This is getting to that point where absolutely everything needs to come off for Adam. I reckon he's been at that point before, but definitely now is, you don't make this, then you pretty much, it's all over almost. It's like, it would be 13-4 if he doesn't make this clearance. But you start to feel like you've lost even before the game's over, but you give yourself just that little lifeline if you can actually make this clearance.
Just got to give a shout out to Brad Campbell, who's enjoying watching the stream. Obviously, Brad involved with setting up the Super League, and I was involved with that back when it first started in Canterbury, back when it was charter club rules. But the whole introduction of Super League and kicking that off was all along the same lines. It was all about sort of trying to get something that people would really want to go and watch, trying to consolidate the top players, playing against the other top players, playing longer races. It's something that players enjoy playing in more, and it's something that people actually really want to go and watch. So the events like this
just
wouldn't have been possible
a little bit more,
without the Super League really kind of setting the tone for all that.
No worries, just out of position, but listen to the cheer as the hometown boy finally gets a frame back. We're trailing 12 frames to 5. Yeah, no, shout out to Brad actually. He was such a big part of actually helping this sort of thing happen. Had it not been for some of his vision on the two-shot game and getting the Super League in as well as he has, then this sort of thing doesn't follow from it. So, yeah, I mean, Brad not the only one, of course. Mike, it's bigger an involvement as he's had, and people like Peter Mortensen and Watty and all of those guys coming in and giving the help where it's needed. It's definitely a team effort, but Brad seen as one of the originators of this, and so he should be. Yeah, this is the future as well. And it's what we live for. You sometimes get scared of change, and a lot of people try to resist it, but this sort of change, you can't see it as being bad. It's always good, and this is where the game's headed in the future. You need to embrace it.
It's something me and Brad always talked about. If you've got a great product, people will want to come and watch. And And that's pretty much what we planned based around, I was thinking that if we can get the best players in the country and put them together in a cool environment like this, people who like pool will want to watch it, and it really is. It's a privilege to be able to watch these guys playing in a format like this, and I hope people aren't taking it for granted, because we're very lucky that all the players committed to this and travelled for this, because we pitched them an idea, like last year, and they probably couldn't quite see the vision like we could at the time, but credit to them all, they were all really, really keen to come and play in what we were talking about, and I think they've all turned up and been really impressed with what we've set up, and they're really enjoying playing.
I tell you what, for all of what went wrong on that last shot, with the fact that he hit absolutely nothing and ended up at the stupid end of the table, I think he's still got a shot. He might call a total snooker because he can't see any of his yellows, but I think he can come off that rail and pot the yellow over the corner. After being so badly out of position here, he's going to ask a ref to look at this, but after being out of position so badly and just having that tiny lifeline could very well make a difference in terms of him still being able to finish this and keep that little roll goal going. Oh, this is a first. First time for everything, Mike.
Yeah,
Never seen this.
Glad to be on commentary. Me and Adam were supposed to be sharing reffing duties, so he's once again had to draw the short straw and take care of this one for us.
Who'd be a ref? They get underappreciated, they don't get paid, it's all on a voluntary basis. They get abuse from people sometimes.
Well, so we discussed the refereeing for this tournament. We did talk about, sort of having a permanent ref and whether that would be good or bad, but in the end we figured, that for the bulk of the match that, the players have the best knowledge of the game and they're often best positioned to make the calls and referee the match. So we figured we'd take more of a hands-off approach and leave them to it to handle the game between themselves as much as possible. And basically, as required, they're able to ask myself or Adam Shaw to come over and just, give a second opinion on those total snookers or just removing the rack and things like that, and seems to be working well so far.
Yeah, do you reckon if there was a need for a ref, as you saw it, that somebody like Barry Appleton could have come and done that?
I'm sure he could, with some preparation and some time. I mean, obviously, whoever's refereeing needs to kind of get quite familiar with the rules, and that was sort of on our mind in terms of having a permanent ref. Was there anybody who was going to be, an absolute expert on the rules? And at the end of the day, we figured, these guys playing in it, since this is our first black ball event, are probably going to have a better grip on the rules than anybody we could, grab to ref it in the short term. So myself and Adam, we've been playing and brushing up on the rules as well and getting sharper, so we're pretty confident on sort of giving those clarifications, and we've obviously have a copy of the rules here, if we really need to double check anything. But as we've seen in all the matches so far, John, that as much as the rules are different, when you're playing good pool and breaking and clearing and potting balls, the rules don't come into it so much. It's a pretty simple game when it's open and attacking.
Yeah, just see ball, pot ball, isn't it? Now, obviously when it's not see ball, pot ball, that's where you see the big differences between the players. And again, I come back to the fact that the English players, for some, have the advantage, but again, it's the fact that they can teach us so much about these different rule sets, which makes it positive for everyone else. I mean, sure, they're probably going to win more.
I just wonder actually if Des wanted to get a little bit straighter on this red. I think he's possibly just got a little bit wide, and the risk with the small cue ball when you get a bit wide is it suddenly just wants to run off a lot further. Nah, he's checked that up and held it nicely.
It's almost like a drag sort of shot, isn't it? Drag punch shot.
We've seen those shots come in quite a lot with this quick cloth and the small cue ball.
Yeah, the way Des is queuing, he's got all the shots at the moment and using them quite liberally, and that potential issue wasn't, just nullified it. Dollar bill, y'all. Both Michael and I have had the privilege of going to see the 25th anniversary of the 36 Chambers from Wu-Tang Clan when they went here and played live.
I thought I had my name called, starting to hear voices.
Last night, I swear everybody was brilliant. Honestly.
Very fortunate to have such a great sound system here too, and some good music to choose from. Heard Fair Inoculum on the radio before from Tool, and that's one of my favourite songs at the moment. I was just jiving to that. Barry Appleton there just basically confirming what I said about refereeing. I'm not one myself, but I see what a great job that they do for what seems like very little reward.
I've dabbled with a little bit of refereeing myself in football, which I've played most of my life, and it's definitely any sport refereeing, you do need to have a thick skin, because you pretty much when you're in a match, there's never much positive to be said your direction. There's usually only contention around your calls and stuff like that, so it's a tough job, but someone's got to do it.
Yeah, and again, it's the person who can connect with the players as well, like see it from their view, like we're playing as hard as we can, we're playing the best way we can, but we're still respectful of the rules and respectful of the referee, and the referee has the respect for the players. So, and also to know that you guys are just human. You don't go out to make bad calls on purpose, and you do look to take on that criticism, helpful criticism if you do make a bad call, so but just not to be horrible about it.
A good break from Des here. Ball off the break. Yellow's looking good. Obviously that yellow below the black is going to be a wee bit tricky, but that'll be the main focus for him. Is these four up the bottom of the table. They're pretty straightforward to work a pattern around. It's just how he's going to get on for that yellow inside the black last.
Yeah, I reckon it could possibly be that yellow that he just cued there. If he gets just off straight on that, then he can run naturally into the black and promote the yellow.
A similar angle here. Oh, has he come back too far again? Thing is, with the small cue ball, you can go through with top, and if you the harder you hit it, the wider the white will spray on contact. You might see an example here, and that's it. So with the bigger cue ball and a shot that straight, you'll. Like I say, with the smaller cue ball, it just really travels that much wider. He hasn't quite got that one perfect, but with the big cue ball there, you cannot, it's a real struggle to get it to travel that much wider. But the angles that change and open up when you change the cue balls, it is quite drastic.
Played a great shot to get out of that, because he's only left Adam that red down the rail that's blocked by the yellow, so able to switch between attack and defence very well there. Adam looking to just put it near the yellow to make it more difficult and only leave him the one that's tied up on the black.
Yeah, just to clarify for John there on the stream, with the total snookers, it doesn't matter if your opponent leaves it or if you leave yourself. Just if at any point, if you can't see both extreme edges of one ball, it becomes a total snooker.
Can you be total snookered on your own shot? Now,
that was what I just
said. Well, yes, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Michael got in for me, but again, he knows the rules arguably better than I do. Adam's attacking instinct's going to scream at him to rifle that red into the pocket where that yellow is, top right of the screen. He might be setting up for that shot now.
He's got to try and clear that pocket for the red. I'm not sure if he's got the angle to come off the yellow and open the pocket, or whether he'll try and come off the rail and get into the red and promote the red. It's always a wee bit tougher going through the cue ball with top though, so I think he'll be looking to come off the yellow and clear the pocket.
Oh, jammed it, didn't go in.
Just didn't look like he cued that one quite as well, actually. I sort of noticed that with Adam a wee bit today, and don't get me wrong, the standard's still been very high, but just a few times at key moments like that, and I suspect probably the pressure of being in the semi-final and being, 8 frames behind, I think it's just starting to creep into a few of those clutch shots. He's just sort of tightening up and not cueing them as smoothly as he normally does.
There's a little 2%ers, isn't it? And they tend to show themselves even more when you're behind. It's just the way the game goes. Is if you give it that little 2% more on the kill, and with shots like that you get them. But when you're behind, sometimes it's not there, and it's not like you're trying for it not to be there, but it just doesn't help that the occasion calls for it to happen, but it doesn't. It's a bit hard to explain. Only the players themselves can explain it, really. Oh, look at this.
Nicely played.
It's
from Des
so
Wilcox.
good.
We're going to cut through early today, and so then we can carry on the whole like the second semi-final and final one.
What's happening, sorry?
After the first money shot today.
Oh, yeah.
We have a cut stream. Can we just make sure they're aware of it?
So Des Wilcox moves on to the hill now. 14 frames to 5. Adam will have the break in this frame, and here he's done the best thing he can. Pot a ball, give yourself a chance. Just something for you folks at home to be aware of is that after the money shot following this match, the stream will stop, but then it will restart pretty much straight away, so do not go anywhere. The stream isn't going to die, it will be coming back, so we can then stream the second semi-final and the final in its entirety without fear of going over stream time. So you will see all the action still. That will not change.
Definitely want to make sure you stay tuned in for that money shot as well. While it's just a bit of a novelty game for the spectators, honestly, when that shot went in yesterday for $500 was the loudest cheer I've ever heard around a pool table in a pool tournament that I've ever been in. I couldn't believe it. The room just blew
it was just
up.
magic, wasn't it? I started walking towards the table as the ball was flying around the table, and the noise was just like boom, instant.
Yeah, it was great.
Instant, and every single person made noise. Every single person, they love the idea, don't they, that somebody could just take a shot, win $500, and they get behind that player too. Doesn't matter who it is, they want them to make it. Then they can cheer about it, and it's a great story to tell your kids. Adam's body language after he fouled on that last shot sort of says it all, doesn't it? I don't think we saw a replay or anything, but he just the way he trudged away from the table was almost a defeated lot.
It's tough, I mean, and you know you've got to keep fighting, and you know that anything can happen, but it's really hard to get out of the back of your mind, when there's that sort of deficit.
Ooh.
You know that it's going to be tough from here, but we saw a wee bit yesterday with Simon, when he built a 9-1 lead against Brent, and it kind of looked like he was going to wrap that match up quickly. All of a sudden he starts getting a bit loose on a couple of shots and missing a couple. Brent starts getting a few rubs, and Brent managed to really close that deficit. So you never know what Adam can do, but any mistake from here can cost him the match, unfortunately.
What a lovely first ball, though. That'll give him a bit of confidence. That'll give him that shot that he needs to hopefully run the rest of this rack and still stay in the match. Gets that one to fall. So, yeah, I mean, you see him taking a little bit more time over his shots here. He knows how important this is. It's just a tiny step, but it's a step that he needs to make. And he manages to avoid the black. That's very nice. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. That's what it'll feel like to Adam, but he is still able to make that journey. And what a great position on the black. Drops it, he's still in this. 6-14 down, but you need 15 to win. Don't go anywhere just yet.
Yeah, a couple of nice positional shots on those last couple of balls for him to finish that last frame. It's always tricky getting the weight perfect on this table with a small cue ball, and he got those ones just right. Hopefully it can be the start of a wee run of him, and if he can put a couple of frames together, you never know, he gets a bit of momentum and maybe give himself a sniff.
What a break that was. Just look at the way he absolutely boom.
Yeah, really got the cue through that one.
Everything was flying around the table, got the cue beautifully through the balls, and look where the cue ball ended up too.
Yeah, big advantage on the breaks is definitely what the top guys are looking to do, is not just pot balls, but also to hold the white ball centrally on the table. From this position, you've got the pick of balls, in 360 degrees all directions around the cue ball, whereas if you end up top or bottom rail, it just slashes your options.
Yeah, it cuts your table down, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Quite dramatically, and what was on paper a good break ends up not being so because you don't have a good first shot. Stevie D20, which is Steve Denton, saying, hard to believe watching that clearance the scoreline, but credit to Des. Great to see a Kiwi playing these rules really well. Is that a dig at the fact that Adam wasn't born in New Zealand?
No, it's a fair point by Steve, and often at the top level of pool, scorelines do not reflect the match. It is that sort of game, and you can be so close but just a fraction off, and unfortunately, you can find yourself with a huge deficit without doing that much wrong.
This might be on, It looked like the most horrible luck to get the ball out and be stuck behind it, but I reckon this could be on. Oh, just missed it.
Another chance for Adam now, if he can capitalise on this one as well, he'll be starting to feel better and better.
Take your time, have a look. Got down to that too quickly for me, and thankfully he decided, no, I'm going to have a look. Drop a snooker and grind your way back into it.
He's managed to get that one relatively tight as well. Even tighter than that red would have been better, but...
Make Des sweat. It's absolutely what he must do, is you must make Des sweat here. He's getting out of that snooker, but he's run that yellow safe.
Yeah, the safety's worked out well for Adam there, so now Des is no longer in quite as prime a position to finish, and Adam's also got a starter on these balls down the rail if he wants.
You'd be remiss not to be taking that now. Maybe he's going to use it as a snookering ball.
I suspect he'll look to play the red on the cushion last, John. I think here he'll look to run out the last three reds and finish on that last red with a wee bit of angle to pot and come out for the black. He's a good enough cue, so he'll back himself to pot that red down the rail. All these guys should be. If you're turning down shots like that, you shouldn't be playing at this level.
Just to be fair and just to sound very much like Baden Jackson. But hey, he's right and you're right. Yes, you could use that red to snooker if you get out of position, but if you're in position, then oh dear. I was about to say if you're in position for it, you must be taking it on.
It's a real unforced error. Again, just an example of the difference in pressure can make, and what you can't see on the stream is the people packed in around the table, and again, when you've got that deficit against you, you know that any mistake's going to cost you. It's just hard to put those thoughts out the back of your mind that are telling you that you can't afford to make a mistake, and unfortunately that just takes you away from your processes and what you need to be focusing on.
What a first shot that was.
If he's got the angle here to pop that yellow, he might have got a little bit straight on it. I'm not sure.
I wonder how much
check the
pocket he
from
can
there.
check.
Yeah. Just like we say, it's tricky on the stream sometime for us to be able to see the exact angle from here, but we're about to find out.
get to your question after this, Summit.
Oh,
Did
he's
see the
played that
angle, look at the
beautifully.
pause. Prize money for semi-finals. If you lose in the semi, you get absolutely nothing. Must win this game to be in the money. The defeated finalist receives $3,000, and the winner, as Des misses what would have been the frame ball, is $7,000. Oh, hello. Still a bit of lightning left in this cloud. Oh, great pause.
Nice distance control on the screw back, never as easy as it looks.
Rifles it in. He shouldn't still be in this, but he is. 14-7.
Crowd right behind Adam now. You can hear the noise difference when Adam's getting frames at the moment. The place is blowing up. They want their local boy to win.
Yeah, they don't have anything against Des, do they? But they just have that little bit more appreciation for Adam, and definitely the crowd getting up for that, and will continue to do so, much like they did for Brent if Adam keeps racking frames up. Des has just got to remove that miss from the memory bank, just kick it out. Forget about it, it's a new frame, it's a new opportunity to win a frame, to win the match, get in the final, and then just worry about the final. For the moment, it's this frame that counts. Still see yellows. Would have been nice to be away from the ones in the middle of the table. Got to be yellows, doesn't it? Can't see a red.
Yeah, pretty much dictates it from here.
Yellow, screw it back, be on one of the ones in the middle.
Just a tricky one to get a good screw in, because he's going to be queuing up over top of that yellow, and it can make the ball miss the ball. He might just look to play a little bit more conservatively and get the pot and find out.
Conservative, what's that? Adam doesn't know the meaning of that word. It's not got position on those balls in the middle, but he does have that long one down the rail, or close to the rail. And he just cues those so nicely, doesn't he? I'm jealous of how well he cues that shot. I just wish I could have even an ounce of the ability to do that.
No, I've played Adam a lot down here in Christchurch, and I know when he's queuing and playing his best, he makes potting just look so easy. It's not funny sometimes. And some balls down the rails, just not even worried about it. Usually just gets down and cues them in. Obviously, though, we just were saying before here, when you factor in all the extra pressure and stuff associated with this tournament, it just always starts making things that little bit trickier.
Yeah, this yellow's still on, I believe, middle pocket. Otherwise, you would have seen him really attempt to get into it. He did before and missed it, but it's a bit of consolidation to know that it's still on, know that it's not all hope is lost. Look at him spit this back out. He's got either ball really is fine. He just needs to pick one, play a shot, get the position. Which he has done. And much the same shot on this to get on the black, and it'll be 14-8. You would think. Yep. Hello. Wait for the black. Wait for the black. 14-8. Can he go a few further than Brent Wells here? Most of the people in this room are hoping so. Black Sabbath. Went to see these guys live as well. Brilliant. By the way, if you guys didn't already know by now, I'm a bit of a metalhead, so if I make reference to bands that you guys don't know about, they're most likely metal bands, so don't worry about it. Mike's a bit of a metalhead himself, isn't he?
Oh, I was just about to say, massive Black Sabbath fan myself. Probably my second favourite band of all time behind Led Zeppelin. I'm actually going to see a Black Sabbath covers band here in Christchurch in a couple of months playing gig in April. Looking forward to that one. And yeah, I think I've seen Black Sabbath myself twice. Yeah, fantastic. And I thought, Ozzy, he might be a wee bit old and past it and struggling, but nah, mate.
He's still got it.
He knows what he's doing.
He knows how to hold a crowd so well, doesn't he? He gets the crowd into it, like, where are you? Where are you?
He's maybe wondering where he is, but
Going to see Blind Spot next month as well when they play their second show in Christchurch on the 10th of April. They're playing a New Zealand-wide tour in March and April, so I believe if they're playing in your area and there's still tickets, I would strongly suggest if you're a New Zealand metal fan that you get tickets to that, because I've seen them live once, they were brilliant. Do it. Ooh. But let's get back to the matter at hand. We've got a game of pool on.
It's amazing what a game of momentum it is sometimes, and you know, again, we saw it yesterday with the match between Simon and Brent being a prime example where, you know, Simon was just front running and looking unstoppable the first half of the match, but you know, sometimes just a wee break and a bit of a momentum shift, and suddenly Simon kept making mistakes and Brent was running balls.
All right.
Des just on the hill and just struggling to get over the line at the moment, and Adam, with each frame he pegs back, the crowd's getting louder and he's getting more amped up. Anything's possible.
Yeah, now, you just see that little bit more bounce returning, don't you? You see the way, love the way he bounces when he's playing well. He's just got that sort of swagger back, doesn't he? No, but at least he got the cover.
Just the only thing Adam's got to manage here is just getting a little bit too excited, and you know, when you're getting a few frames in a row and the crowd's making a heap of noise behind you and you can see him racking up the crowd there after his last frame, it's just got to keep that excitement in check as well. You don't want to go too far to that other extreme and start getting too carried away.
I've had that myself. I've just been like, oh hell yeah, I'll finish this frame, and then you just run out of position and you make a goose out of yourself. I've seen everyone does it. It's completely understandable, but you just need to hold it and check. I think he's just trying to pot that. Yeah, trying to go for the skill shot. Missed it.
Is that on inside that yellow to the corner? I think it might be. It's going to be a great shot to pot this red and get Posy on that black.
That angle doesn't help at all. I actually reckon yes it is, but holy crap, you have to be so good with this. Play for the weight. That's what I'd do.
Wow, what a pot.
Didn't get the black, but he's still got a shot.
He's got a double back inside the yellow. I think that's the one.
It was so good.
Did you try the skill shot? I'm not sure if the guys here have played them enough, but that's definitely an option here as well if you can get that to run into the yellow in the corner and catch it centrally and flush, but it's always the risk reward there if you don't drop the black.
Not on this angle you don't. Oh, look at this, look at this. No, and no on the cover. Thought he might have at least got the pocket covered, but it bounced away from the jaw, so chance again for Adam. Looks like he's going to get rid of that yellow next to the black straight away. It's good. You don't want that one last. You don't want it going horribly wrong for you on your last shot.
What pace he can play that. Oh, nice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he could play that positive enough to screw the white back, or whether he'd have to drop it in pocket weight, but makes this next shot a lot easier. These ones are always trickier if he'd been queuing off the rail.
See, you just rifle it in too. Bit of check to make sure the white doesn't go anywhere near that middle pocket. And look at this, he's giving it the go-on, son. 14-9, but he has got the last 4 frames. just getting better and better, this. Feels stupid, I don't know this song.
Alice Cooper.
Oh, I do now. I couldn't think to lead into it.
A bit tasty.
Yeah, Tom Gant, we can't leave our seats either. This is hotting up quite magnificently.
There's not much schedule.
Adam Lilly willing a ball to go down, but they're not going to conform to it. So Des Wilcox with the first shot at the table here to finally kill Adam off, he hopes. Good little comeback here from Adam to get to within 5 frames. Des Wilcox doing really well on that first shot to still be on that yellow. That kick off that red could have been bad, but it's ended up productive for him. He's just got to erase what's happened, and again, as we said before, just concentrate on this frame. This is the one you need. Nothing else matters at this point.
As much as Adam's on a great run at the moment, and he's closing the gap, and he's got all the momentum, there's still not that much pressure on Des. He can relax because he's still got a big 5-frame buffer, and he'll back himself to get one out of the next 5 or 6 frames every day of the week. So he's just got to keep doing what he's doing, stay relaxed. He should get his frame.
Missed it. It's just these little misses
feeling the
coming
heat, though.
in.
He's feeling the heat.
Yep.
This is great. This is what competitions like this are all about. When you can create an atmosphere like this, it just, you see, it's on how the players respond and whether they thrive or struggle in that atmosphere. And we're seeing the momentum switches with the pressure and the crowd getting behind the players.
Positivity. Love the shot. Love your work.
Adam suddenly looking a much more fluent player, and it's amazing how much it shifted from the first half of the game where Adam just looked a wee bit tense and Des was flowing and Des was doing all the damage, and at the moment Adam's just looking very comfortable at the table, and Des is the one looking a wee bit shaky. You wouldn't think Des is on the hill 1 frame away from victory right now.
Yeah, and you saw the massive shift in body language for Adam. That won't go. Somebody turned the gravity switch off, but you see the massive difference in body language that Adam has after he fouled in the frame where he was 14-4 down. Just the way he trudged away from the table, it had his cue between his legs. He just looked defeated, didn't he? But now he's running around the table looking like he's 14-9 ahead. It just goes to show you so much how body language can be an indicator of how you're playing and how you're feeling at that moment. You can just put the heat right on your opponent, even if you're behind, if you've got that good body language going in.
That's a great chance for Adam here.
That'll work just nicely
At
too.
the moment, I'll expect him to clear this one up in no time.
Nothing hard really, is there? Just stop shot, just a wee run through, just another wee run through, get straight-ish on this.
A little bit straight on that. I think he just got a little bit quick on those balls in the middle of the table, and it's the danger when they are straightforward. You can't take them too quick because one slight loose position.
See how they hit the rail quite a fair way down and still went in? Is that testament to how well he's cueing?
Not sure actually. I didn't quite see it in detail, but
it looks easy.
Adam is
It
milking
looks
the
easy,
crowd.
but
He's loving it.
under these conditions, it's not. Down goes the black. Let's listen to it. And we shall have an intermission. What an exciting time to have one. 14-10, folks.
Give them the
Des Wilcox.
intermission. I mean, there's a scheduled intermission on the hour every hour. If you just skip it because the match is going well, it's... Skip it? No, I'm saying it's... I don't think we should. I think we should do an intermission, don't you? You can't just... Here's what we've been crying out for intermission. Scheduled all the time every hour. Yeah, intermission. Yeah.
So here we go, intermission it is, folks. Both players have taken a toilet stop. Right, here we go again. Third session of this particular match. Des Wilcox still on the hill. 14-10 after having been 14-4 ahead. Double of Gentleman Jack and Coke Zero, thanks. Yeah, boy.
No, I'm all good at the moment.
Supporting our sponsors.
Guess who's at the table? Mikey's almost had a monopoly on it the last few frames.
Adam back again.
And again with a good lot of balls to play for. Now, we just had the intermission with Adam having won the last 6 frames. Which player do you think this benefits the most, having the intermission now?
Oh, this massively suits Des. Adam just has had all the momentum the last half hour, and Adam, he would love to have just kept playing as many frames as possible there. So good chance for both players, and we saw that in Simon and Brent's game. When Brent started staging his big comeback, and it was a wee intermission, and Simon recomposed himself and got over the line. And Des still only needs 1 frame here, so I think if he's used the break to get his composure back, he's just got to wait for his turn at the table and make the most of it.
Well, I would agree with that, but
It's a delicate shot required here with a chase of right-hand side and probably get the weight right to try and drop underneath that red. Oh, he's played it beautifully.
like this,
Back to the middle.
like this, you mean? Bit more of it. Bit more of that. Still playing the music before he's spotted it. What the hell? Oh, now you can play it. Now you can play the music. 14-11. Dez's sphincter would be clenching just that little bit tighter. How are you guys? You still moving? Still here? Are you clenched? We're starting to clench up.
I was a bit premature on the music there. I couldn't help myself. I got a bit excited.
You did. That's the way you sprang out of your chair. It's like somebody had shocked you. Like you were thunderstruck yourself.
A little bit.
A lot. Just about hit the roof.
Well, we've been witnessing something special so far.
It's great to get that frame. I know he needed it, but to win it the way he did, to not, you know, not to limp over the line in that frame, to put that, the fact that it was the intermission behind him. He's got a ball off the break too.
I'll tell you what, his
And
breaks have
handy
changed
set.
around completely in the second half of this match as well. He's breaking really well at the moment.
Just another shout out to our sponsors on the bottom of your screen: Anytime Fitness Rangiora, Aramith, Bates Joinery, Inside NZ Pole, Need More Firewood, On Cue Peridon, Paul Canterbury, Rossendale Winery, Strachan, and the new one at the bottom, Mikey Hayes. You'll love this one. Mike Hayes, Q Sport Coaching. He's not just a player, folks, he coaches as well.
It was pretty much the only reason I got involved in this event, John, was just as an opportunity to plug my other wee business. It's nice to have that in there as well, though. You've been doing more and more work with that recently with the season coming up. So, if anyone's interested, give us a shout.
It's great to see you giving back to the game in so many different ways. I mean, playing, organising now and coaching. It's wonderful, isn't it? Maybe I need to actually go and see you for some coaching myself, because, you know, my game, at least in Chris Geary's eyes, hasn't been quite as good as it was, and to a point he's right.
I think the thing, John, is everybody can always, use some advice and stuff. It doesn't have to be from me, but if you ever think you're at a point where you don't need any pointers and you don't think you can improve, then you've got a wee bit of a problem. And it's something I noticed with a lot of these top guys; they're always still improving and learning. And
You're
Simon's
lying,
a big one
aren't
for
you?
that. So no, I'm dead serious. Everybody can always be improving. There's always something to work on, and I think it's that attitude that makes the best players stand out. Is they're never satisfied. They always want to be better.
Yeah, just headed the pocket. He played that nicely. He didn't have to go around any rails. Big middle pocket, used all of it. Now this for 12. 14! Yes, indeedy. Got the deficit to within 2, and he's within 3 of winning. Here's that shot again, by the way, just before the black. Just to show you that no, he didn't need to run the rails. He just needed to cheat the pocket, make sure that he got to stay there for the black. And look at the emotion. Black goes in, gives the crowd the whole come on. And if he didn't have the crowd behind him before, he definitely does now.
Corey, you couldn't have said it better there. What a time to briefly tune in. If you haven't caught the first half of this match, Des Wilcox, what was his lead up to, John?
14-4.
14-4, and Des was doing all the running, looking fluent, Adam looking down and out.
Dry break.
Adam has just turned it around, and especially the last 4 or 5 frames, he's in full flow. I don't know how quickly he's won this last handful now. It's anybody's game at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Des, he's still only one frame away from victory, and I still think he'll be thinking he just needs one good look at the table, but Adam has all the momentum at the
Adam
moment.
hasn't let him have that look. Adam's ability to finish has just leapt. He's going to have to play long again here. Now, again though, it's the one shot. It's only one shot. You make this, you unlock the rest of the table. That's what he'll be thinking. Drop this. Good to go.
Yeah, I was thinking these two
Is that
reds
on?
down here, I'm not sure if that's on, because that red underneath the yellow is the problem ball. Everything else is pretty good. So
I think that's on. It's brilliant if it is.
if he drops this in, it's a wee bit of a stroke of luck, but
Oh,
no.
yeah. Well done.
It shows
Don't have
Adam
to
he's
plot
on
it.
top of his form at the moment. He's got the composure to recognise that good chance to just keep it tight and give himself a good look for when he gets back to the table.
This is the best advertisement for long braces as well. Look at what has happened in this game.
Oh, exactly.
You don't have the long race, you don't get the comeback, you don't get the excitement. You don't get games like this. It's simple as that. Dizzy Wilcox now coming up with a really good shot himself. I don't think Adam could see anything here, or pot anything rather. So now it's him who's having to consolidate somewhat. This actually might be on off the other red off the rail here. Did he touch the yellow? I just wonder if he touched the yellow there. Or are my eyes giving me shift again?
In half an hour since that stage.
So Paul's just checked out some stats for us. He's not just our technician here, he's also our stats man. And so Des Wilcox half an hour ago was 14-5 up. And in half an hour, Adam has won 7 frames straight to go 14-12.
That's a great shot that Des just played.
That was a skill shot.
Yeah.
That was a skill shot and then some. Yeah, I did too, Corey, to be quite fair. Maybe something shook just as he played it, but I thought he'd just flicked the yellow on the way through. This being Adam's shot before. He's tried another skill shot and he's missed it. Or rather, he's missed his ball and potted Adam's, so Adam will get 2 shots here.
Surely you'll pick up the cue ball and come behind the bulk line here.
He's not.
Didn't see him. He never seemed to pick up the cue ball the other. Yeah, because I think
there
you
we
want to
go.
play
There
this
we go.
red
Maybe
to
he
the
heard
centre.
us.
Maybe I need to keep my voice down, but nah, that's exactly
No,
the
I
shot,
need,
Adam.
I need to keep my voice down, Mike. That's me.
No, we're good. We're perfect. Yeah, that's the shot.
Black's on. Black's on in 2 pockets at least that I can see. Middle right, bottom left. It's just a question now of how he wants to get on that final red over the corner pocket to give himself that shot. The closer you get to it, the better off it is.
Yeah, you can definitely see the increased confidence in his game now. Earlier in the match he would never have gone for that, but he might not have made it off, but he's just playing that much more fluently now. He's just seeing the shot and playing it.
Here we go, here's the snooker extension. Hopefully he's called an actual extension while he puts this on. But what do you reckon? He just puts it in one rail, opposite corner pocket, just like that.
Just like that.
Perfect. Getting the crowd up again. Listen to it. Listen to it! 13-14 now. Now where's your money? He's such a great showman too, isn't he? He's got the shots in the game to back it up, but it's been his best weapon at the moment, besides his cueing, is the ability to get the crowd involved, and they've just lived and died with him and are living strong right now. Their man is on track to perhaps make one of the best comebacks we've ever seen from anyone.
Lightning 13,
both uncovered now.
At what price, Terry Stewart, a break and run for a hill match? What price would we give that? That would be so brilliant. Adam is to break, by the way.
I'll tell you what, I would. I wonder what is going through Dez's head.
Oh,
at the
go
moment.
down something. Oh, he's dry broken. Yeah, Stevie D20, he knows about this more than most. Brilliant observation there about how you missed the yellow and would have been straight on a ball, and how it actually costs you so much. See, that's essentially cost him 8 frames, that shot. You think it just costs you 1 to miss a ball and have your opponent finish the frame. It can very well cost you more than 1 frame. This is what we've seen here. He's just doing a bit of consolidation. It's a good shot. Still trying to challenge at him here. This red actually goes off that red into the middle pocket though, so I just wonder if maybe he's missed the boat slightly here.
I think this is exactly what Des wants to do at the moment, because when Adam's running with this kind of momentum, and any player, not just Adam, you have to slow them down sometimes and kill their momentum, and it's something I've come to learn over the years. When you're playing top players, anybody can get their tail up and get a run on for a while, and you know, while you want to be potting and clearing yourself, sometimes you just need to slow things down for a minute, more just to try and sap your opponent's momentum, just to try and level the playing field a bit.
Oh, he didn't go for the pot. He's gone right behind the red for the snooker. What a great shot that is.
Yeah, Adam's up for the challenge. He's in the zone right now.
I can do that too. How's my sphincter? Pretty tightly clenched, Stefan. Not going to lie.
We're going to get in trouble here again.
No, we're not. We're good. Mind you, telling the truth gets you in trouble daily, doesn't it? Imagine he plays this for the weight. Yeah.
Oh, what a shot that is.
He doesn't get that, he blocks the hole, but he did get it. And it's brilliant again to know that he also had the ability to just pot the yellow if he could. Play the skill shot.
Yeah, started this frame with a set of balls. Adam was probably looking second favourite, but he's missed that. Tougher for Des now though, with Des's yellow on the right rail covered by that red. He's got to find a way to promote that ball now.
At the very least, he did get the cover. Yeah, it's a bad miss, but at least he got a cover. He can take a little bit of solace in the fact that that yellow is going to be really difficult for Des to work with, and that Des has to play a good shot to make it worth it. Also, thank you very much, Stefan, for that. Always great to hear good feedback. Any good feedback is much appreciated by us. How's his angle for the shot here? Screw back into that yellow or behind it and kick it out. The yellow that's stuck I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think he might be looking at that.
Got it.
Oh, he's played that.
He got it. What a shot. Lovely cue power too, to just whiz it behind into it.
So the only thing is that yellow in the centre of the table is not straightforward, because it's, you know, with these yellows here, the white will naturally want to end up on the left side of that yellow, but on the left side of that yellow it's covered. He's going to have to pot it to the top corner here.
I think it might go in the top corner though. Thinking he might have buggered himself, but he hasn't. If that yellow goes into the top right corner, he's fine. He just needs to steel himself for this.
Yeah, because with the quick table and the small cue ball, screwing back off the other yellow to the black is going to be no issues. So just got a cue one good one here.
Oh, see the head fly up.
Yeah.
Did you see the head come up?
He's just Lost
he
the
popped
shape
up, didn't
completely
he?
on that one.
Not much though, just enough.
I wonder, John, if he didn't need the screw right back on that. I personally wondered if he could just more play a stun shot and just, you know, screw off the yellow with a bit of angle, but always tougher to call it from here.
Well played. Wondering whether that was the shot or not. And in fact, where he's left the white ball, I'm still wondering whether it was the shot. If he thins this red on the right though, he could get a snooker. He did. Did he get a snooker? I think he has, Mike.
He's done enough, and the good thing is with Adam having multiple balls on the table here that, you know, it's going to be that much tougher for Des to leave Adam tight.
Yeah, he's doing to Des what Des did to him earlier.
Exactly.
Des is getting some of his own medicine. Again with Des, he's had some chances, not many, but some. But he, like Adam did earlier, he has not taken them. So how much has the game actually mirrored itself? It's quite amazing.
Oh no, it's been unreal.
And now Des is under all sorts of pressure to make sure he at least hits the yellow so he doesn't give Adam 2 shots and surely you would think the frame. That's actually a really good shot.
Yeah, getting
I
that yellow
like
near
it.
the black
Made
is
the black
just
harder.
make it that much trickier. I mean, Adam will still be, the way he's playing at the moment, he should be clearing this, but yeah, one thing saying it, another thing doing it.
2. Red in the middle for the red closest to us, you reckon?
Yeah, I think the key in that situation, John, is always working out which ball do you want to play last before the black, which ball is going to get your position on the black to make the finish as easy as possible, and then map your finish to get on that last ball before the black. So I think he's obviously decided that red up the top of the table will be his final one. Play the one to the middle before that.
Well, to this point, he's gotten the posse on everything to get to that last ball for the black, so just needs to stroke this in. It's just off
a little bit
centre.
far actually, because this small white's going to spray that wee bit wider. He won't be able to get this as far up the table as he'd like for the black. It's going to make the black a tough shot. Or is he going to go twice over and play the black back over to the right corner?
I reckon he goes one rail with a wee bit of left.
Yeah.
Oh, he would have got it too. Look at the position he would have had. I tell you what though, again, look where the reds ended up. In the way of the black.
Yeah, he's gotten away with that a wee bit. But right there, John, probably the shots we're calling is the difference between a big white and a small white shot. You know, with the big cue ball, you'd play the shot you described with top left, you'd just be able to hit the cushion and run through with side and play the black to the left corner. But with the small white, it just comes off that much wider on contact that the option Adam took is actually the better option with the small cue ball.
Oh, look at
this. That's a shot from Des.
Yeah, what a shot. He taps the cue on the table too, and appreciation does Adam. There's great thinking there from Des.
I'll tell you what, that was a great chance for Adam to take the frame there. I'm surprised he didn't. You know, the way he's been queuing these last 7 or 8 frames now, I'd assumed he would make that.
Is this a shot to nothing? Just hit and hope almost?
I think with that one, he was never going to leave it safe. He almost just had to.
You just had to hit it and
hope for the best.
Does something happens.
You'd
I
like
tell
to
you
think
what though, you can only see one yellow. How much does that play into it? He'd like to be able to put that long one first.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Again, you always want to make that last shot before the black as straightforward as possible. And yeah, he's overrun this.
Yeah, he wanted to be nice and straight on that, but he's actually underneath it. He
see
might
where
have to
he's
screw
lining up.
big time into the side rail and hopefully avoid the red.
A lot of left-hand side, so he needs to go straight across and then let the left turn off the rail. Exactly
Here it goes.
like that.
Here it goes.
Oh, did that catch a wee bit in the middle draw? I'm not sure.
No, I
he's
don't think
got
so.
enough of a shot.
That should be fine, but again, how's his queuing?
Just take your time, Des. One good shot here.
This one for the win. For the win, he's got it! He's got it, he staves the comeback off. 15-13, Des Wilcox over Adam Lilly, but what a match. And what an effort that was from Adam, from being absolutely dead to just about killing Des at the end there. But it is Des who goes through to the final, and we've got a massive match coming up for you folks. Do not go away. We will cut the stream, but we will be straight back.
We've got the interviews and money match.
Will be Simon Singleton versus Bader.
Other than that, what a fabulous match. We thought we were going to have our first hill. Commiserations, Adam, but what a fantastic fight back. Des. Congratulations, Des. Kept you cool to the end just. Look, good luck in the final later on today. Adam, proud of you, mate. And coming to compete in this tournament, we knew what the pressure was, straight knockout stuff, and you guys haven't disappointed. Fantastic. Great to see you. Hand over to Alex.
Adam, not too short to say that was an unbelievable comeback at 14-5 down. I can't imagine Des has lost 8 frames in a row too many times before, but what was going on in your head during that?
Yeah, I mean, I just started, kind of, you know, it comes automatic when you're that far behind. You just start relaxing, you know, seeing what happens, try and get yourself into the match somehow. If you can win a couple, you know, hopefully they might start thinking about it. And after probably 3 or 4, you know, the whole GCDs, he held himself together so well at the end there. Honestly, hats off to him, because not many people could have done that, what he just did. I had to use the crowd to my advantage. I had nothing going for me. The first 3 quarters of that match, I was fucking terrible. Excuse me. Honestly, I was terrible the first 3, embarrassing. Like, this is great, some knockout best up players in New Zealand, and really didn't show up for the first 3 quarters of that match. But at the last, you know, I showed New Zealand what I can do, those last 8 frames. I hate to use the crowd, it was the only way I could get back into it. No disrespect to Des, but I can imagine how tough it would have been for him. He would have been thinking about it after like 4 or 5 in a row, you know. But I had to use it, so I just had to try and clear everything. I did until the end there, missed that read. Adrenaline was probably just a bit too much, to be honest. I missed 1 ball in 8 frames. Hats off to Des. I grew up with Des and have so much respect for him. I learned pretty much everything I have on the pool table from Des. And also, you know, like Calvin and New Plymouth Rock. I look up to Des so much. And if everyone in this room can now get behind Des, because he's the last I was born in England. I lived here for 10 years until I moved to New Zealand. I've been here 11 years now, so I'm a Kiwi. So go to Kiwis. Go to Kiwis.
We talked yesterday about your composure, and today, you know, I think it was in the 3rd frame, we had the cue ball foul, and then a couple of frames later we had a bit of a timing glitch, and then you had that unbelievable comeback to deal with. I mean, how'd you keep calm under that kind of pressure?
Yeah, got off to a bit of a shaky start, you know, dropping a frame you shouldn't have, but then, you know, just tried to get about it, keep your head down, and knew Adam wasn't quite at the peak of his game, and I was really punishing for his mistakes. You know, 14-5, it's just the score, and then the real Adam really turned up, and obviously a few dry breaks, he has running breaks, he strung together a few frames, and then all it takes for me is just to miss 1 or 2 balls a frame, and then it was game over. And I stuffed up a couple of chances there, but holy crap, I've never felt like that. Like, that was so hard, and then, like, as Adam said, like, having been this hometown support, like, I just had to try and block it out. Like, it was a, you know, all those experiences I felt this weekend, I've never felt in my whole pool career. But to get over the line, dude, I'm just going over the line. That was real hard work. Huge credit to Adam. Like, he just never gave up. Got the crowd on his back, and they were all on his back. Man, they were just playing everything. They were all.
And you've guaranteed yourself at least $3,000, a chance to win $7,000 in a few hours' time. Just a small matter of beating 1 of 2 very good Englishmen in the final. Who do you fancy?
Any of
Look, I've just been trying to, you know, do what I just did, playing out, just trying to play the table really, one frame at a time. Just playing the balls, and you know, luckily enough, the first two matches I've played, I've just been playing the table, and I've had a pretty good run, made a few good run outs, and yeah, like I'll just be, you know, Baden and Simon, both great players. I'll look forward to playing either in the final, and you know, it should be a good match. Hopefully, I don't have any comebacks like that if I'm on the hill.
Come on, Des, you got it.
Yeah. Someone's a round of applause for Adam Lenny and Des Wilcox. I'll now pass you back through to Graham Watson for some more money shot action.
Righto, we got the second of the money shots coming up. How does everyone feel if John gets drawn out again? I think he's definitely got to put 250 on the bar if he wins it again. Everyone got their tickets ready? Now this is worth $500. Does anyone want to buy a couple extra tickets to increase their chances? Any takers? Here's a man. How many?
There we go.
Any more takers? Right on! The magic money shot. We know it can be done. The first number is 167. She got it.
She's staying here.
Will we give it
2 minutes? We'll count down. 120, 119, 180.
What happens if she's so exhausted to have the shot? We'll draw another one if she gets back and try and let her come in. Right, here we go. Number 15. There we go. Pull, 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 pull.
Who's going to play closer one?
Here we go. Thank you, Paul. Hey, we're into the low numbers. Number 20. Any advances on 20? No. Yep. Now, if Chrissy gets this money shot and Des wins the tournament, what are we looking at? $2.5 grand on the bar? Yeah! Yeah, Chrissy, go! She needs a walk-on song. Whoa! Let's go. There's a magic cue.
Come on, you got it.
Let's go, Chris.
Come on, Chrissy! Come on, girl! Come on, girl!
Fantastic! Congratulations! So the next semi-final will be starting at 2:30, so you got time to get something to eat, a few drinks, buy some more tickets, do whatever you need to do. Fantastic. Thanks again. Another huge round of applause for that match and that money shot. Whoa!
Oh,